Start over. Let's go. Let's get it right. Here we go.
All right, YouTube audience, bear with us. You're going to get muted for a second.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hang in there. Let's get to it. Let's get right to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. You're you. You're listening on 93.3 Real Talk FM, driving about town on Tallahassee's only locally owned and operated radio station. Maybe you're not driving about town. Maybe you're listening at the office. Maybe you got headphones in. Maybe you're listening to this later on as a pod. However it is, you're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show and or watching the Jeff Cameron Show on YouTube. We appreciate you much. Thank you for doing that. Thanks for your support. Well, that was bitterly disappointing. But games like this are more challenging, Tom, I find, as a talk show host, because it's a no-brainer. There's not a lot of complex issues to break down regarding what happened. Miami's better than you. Miami has better players than you. Miami executed better than you. Miami outplayed you across the board. There's not, like some games you go, well, now, wait a minute here. This is a little unlucky here. This was a bad call there. There was this, you can kind of get into the nuances and the subtleties of a game. This one hits you right over the head. When you look out on that field, you go, well, they're better there. They're better there. They're better there. They're better there. Now, that might piss you off, and it does piss me off because it gets back to some recruiting misses. You look out on that defense, and you think about the head-to-heads, Tom. I went back and looked it up this morning, how many head-to-heads we were, from a recruiting standpoint, where we were battling to get Bain. It was us in Miami, for example. I'll use Bain because he's the best player they have, so just start with him. That came down to us or Miami. Miami did not win that battle because of money. You got out-recruited. And there's maybe one exception. Maybe one or two players where money was the reason. The rest was you just got out-recruited. And Mike routinely gets out-recruited by Miami and Florida. And that's something we've addressed on the show before. But it's a little bit easier to address it when you can just plainly look out onto the field and see the better players and see the lines of scrimmage. And the lines of scrimmage obviously make up and constitute a big part of how you win and lose football games. And I said before this game that my hope was that it wouldn't just be fundamental, like there wouldn't be that, maybe we could ride the home crowd. You could have an emotional charge. You could go down and score early. For Florida State, that opening drive, I thought it was imperative that they get in the end zone. As it turns out, that 11 plays, 70 yards, you have to settle for a field goal. You do get hurt by a bad call. You don't get the PI there that you should have got. That was a big miss. It's not why you lost. It's not even close to why you lost. It has nothing to do with why you lost, but it certainly hurt. I thought it would have been nice to get out to a 7-0 lead. You got to find a way to put up 7 there. You don't. You kick the field goal. Grand opening, grand closing for the first half scoring for Florida State. That's it. That's all. The defense gets a stop right off the bat, shuts down the Miami running game for the bulk of this football game, which was something we thought was absolutely imperative. And you could tell Tony thought it was too. He's like, all right, we're going to get stops in the run game. We're going to sell out to stop the run, and we're going to get stops in the run game. And they did. But Miami, rightfully, with that extra week to prepare, knew that Florida State was going to sell out to stop the run. And I thought they did a lot of things to make you pay for doing so. And, you got the shot plays, and that's fine. I mean, they hit on their shot plays. They've got a quarterback that if you give him time, and boy, do we give quarterbacks time because we can't rush the passer. So he's going to make those throws. With time, he's an NFL quarterback. Boom, boom. He's going to make those throws. And he did. Deft touch, nice throws. 20 of 24, 240-something yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
He gave you one. The first second down of the game was a shot over the top of Joseph that he underthrew.
Yeah.
So you did get one strike.
Got one.
Yeah. Other than that.
No, he was right on after that. They were very composed. Miami really looked ready to play. Really looked like the environment was not a problem for them. Mature, smart game. In terms of the game plan, now they were a little overzealous at times because that's how you amass a bunch of penalties like they did. I hear Gus talking about penalties. I hear Mike talking about penalties. Get the hell out of here with that. You had 4 offensive penalties. 4. You had 5 total for the game. You didn't lose this game because of penalties. You had 5 penalties for 45 yards. You take that every week. You take it every Saturday. Miami had 13 penalties for 114 yards. So this wouldn't have nothing to do with penalties. They're better than you. Their quarterback's better than your quarterback, and our quarterback wasn't good. And we worried before the start of the season. I said, look, if you're going to run this offense, we know what it is. You have to stay within touch of the other team because trying to come back with no drop back passing game, trying to come back with no sophisticated passing attack is, going to be a problem. And they don't have a sophisticated passing attack. And I don't care about the empty yards of the fourth quarter where you had, what was the number here? I wrote it down. What we had? We had 188 of our yards in the fourth quarter. The game was over. It was 28-3. I mean, that's window dressing. That makes it look like a good game. It wasn't. You got your ass beat for 3 quarters. And then Miami stopped playing. Trash. I don't even look at those yards other than to say, good, I'm glad they didn't quit. Well, you don't get a lot of credit for not quitting. You shouldn't quit. So they didn't quit. At least they're not last year's team, Tom. They will fight. Good.
I think they had every opportunity in that first half to come away with 10 points, 14 points, or 17 points. And for one reason or another, a couple of penalties were in there, mixed in there. The Rizzi thing just can't happen.
Well, that's stupid. That's a stupid
happen.
Penalty, and it's a costly penalty. But again, you didn't lose because of penalties.
No. But a couple of key throws, your quarterback looks like he's delivering it from a pogo stick and not anchoring his feet in the ground. There are some things I like about Tommy that resemble the quarterback we watch on Sundays in Baker Mayfield. There are some traits there. But one big different trait is
throwing the football.
When even if they're breaking the pocket, if Baker knows he's got a shot downfield, he anchors both feet and he fires like he's a pitcher on the mound. He doesn't do this thing where he's like where he's shot putting things or he's trying to hit a runner, or he's on a pogo stick. I mean, you name it. That Randy Pittman throw on the trick play, the third down. Randy is so open, it's painful. And when you freeze frame it when he breaks the pocket to the right, because they did show the wire cam replay, you're like, how is this not an explosive play? This has to be an explosive play, because even if you turn down the Randy throw, you've got Roydell Williams coming free over the middle because Miami's defenders are flowing to stop the quarterback run. And instead, it's like hit the ass cheek of the Miami defender. I don't know how the hell you do it.
Well, I mean, I don't think that.
And that's just one of about 4 types of those types of throws.
Squirrel White misses. Both Squirrel White misses. Yeah. I mean, it's a 75-yard touchdown. What is he doing?
He looked emotionally out of sorts from the word go. The game looked too fast for him. Even on the first drive, there are a couple of read option decisions that I can't explain. I can't tell you. And that tells you he's out of sync from the word go.
I want to give proper credit. Look, man, I hate Miami. Everybody who listens to this show, watches this show, knows anything about this show, knows that I loathe Miami. And I take shots at Miami any chance I get. And they've given me a lot of opportunities over the last 20 years to take shots, and I've taken them. And a gratuitous amount of shots. And I'm going to keep doing that. That's never going to change. They're our arch rival. I want to beat their ass like they want to beat our ass. And when they win, they get to revel in that success and talk smack and all those things. And when we win, we get to do the same. And throughout the course of the year, it goes back and forth. But look, man, that's a really good team who was very prepared. and they're physically more dominant than we are. That is a much better football team. And Tommy looked out of sorts because they contained him and made him a passer. And he's effed if that's the case, because he's not a great passer. And I've said this over and over again when we went to bring him here, that, hey, you're going to get the good with the bad with Tommy. There's some real good with Tommy. There's some real bad with Tommy, and everything in between. And look, that's just who he is. That's who he's always been. There are times he's mesmerizing. When he's playing downhill, when you have the lead or there's nothing to lose and that guy runs around. See the fourth quarter. I mean, we're out there drawing it up in the sand. My man's just running around making plays because things are broken down. You're completely shot. They're playing a cover three. They're in a shell. You got no chance. And he's just running around buying time making plays because he's got heart. He's got maneuverability. He makes guys miss. He cares deeply. He's going to fight, and do all the things you want in a football player. I like all that. But, man, he's going to miss because he doesn't have a consistent release and a consistent passing game that, week to week, what you're going to get. Dropping. That's not him. And these last two games, he's had some big misses where the plays are designed. It's there. You've got a chance to make a big play, and he misses it. And it's what's going to happen. And look, I get it. If you're a big Tommy guy, what you're going to do is you'll collect the highlights where he just makes spectacular plays and say, look at this. How many quarterbacks can do that? And I'm going to say to you, very few. Very few people can do that. That's amazing. How about this? How about we look at this wide-ass open throw with nobody within 10 yards of him that he misses by 15 yards over his head into the bench? What? Who does that in big-time college? See, you can do this all day. It's just the good and the bad.
Yeah,
it's what he is.
Well, you're studying out every game for a net effect. Are you going to be made right when you're wrong more often, or are you going to be made wrong when it's called right more often? Right. And that's what you go into every game with, and that's the risk here. The thought was maybe in this system, cultivated around him as it is, rather than a Bill O'Brien system.
Oh, it's a much better system.
That you're going to maximize what Tommy is.
And I still think you will maximize what Tommy is. It's just that, again, let's define what that is.
Correct. He is not above and beyond the clunker. He isn't past it. You just saw it.
He never
will be. That was a total
be.
dud. That is, I said it Saturday, that of the quarterback performances at Florida State in a Miami game, where there were expectations beforehand.
Like a real expectation.
Yeah, right. This was one of the larger duds I've ever seen.
Yeah, he didn't play well.
I mean, it was just – and look, there's some calls that I wish Gus didn't make either, but I've got more problems with the quarterback and with the execution than the coordinator. It ultimately falls on the coordinator. I understand that. And you know me. I'm not the biggest Gus apologist in the world.
No.
But it was hard not to come – you had 130 or 140 yards of offense in the first half. I don't know how the hell we didn't have 220 or 250. It's there. There's a lot that's there. And some things Miami took away by how good they were.
Yeah, they did take
Don't get me
away.
wrong.
Yeah.
Ruben Bain took over a couple of drives, and we knew he would. Mesidor made a couple of amazing plays. We knew he would. And then they got off of blocks, and they made some plays in space when things were blocked up otherwise. But there's a lot there that it was hard to walk into that tunnel with only 3 points, but we found a way to do it.
It's very frustrating. And I couldn't help but think, by the way, at 14-3, that's a wrap. I mean, that tells you what, when you're looking out on that field and you see the difference in players, and you say, I think that's probably a wrap. I think we're screwed. I don't think we're coming back from this. Because I don't, again, you mentioned Bain. He had 11 quarterback pressures.
Yeah.
11.
Yep.
I mean, when you're an NFL scout, you're not just, fans make the mistake of just looking at sack numbers and things like that. Well, not all fans, but some fans do. Like, oh, he only has 2 sacks on the year or whatever. And you're like, well.
Yeah, that was Jared Verse in 23.
Right.
Remember that? First month of the year?
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, man, he's having to be double teamed. They're having to account for him. They're chipping. They're using tight ends. They're doing everything they can. So he's not a terror. That's a player. We talk about WAR in baseball. What is that for a player where you've got to designate 2 and 3 people to make sure he's not gathering those statistics because he's a menace. And him and Mesidor are studs. And every time you looked up, you're like, well, yeah, and they recruited those guys. You got to do better there. And, it's tough when you lose a tackle, okay? So you lose a tackle, and you might say, well, they had to move and shuffle some guys around. And I would say to you, this is a big picture problem. Why? You don't have another tackle? Where the hell are they? What are you doing that every year over year, you got to go out and get 5 new offensive linemen from the portal? Why don't you have somebody else? I mean, Lucas, he still can't get in the game. I mean, it's your top tier tackle recruit from 3 years ago, and he's done dick. There's nothing. We got nothing.
And then Bain, for example, takes over a series. This is 1st and 25 after the Rizzi penalty,
which was brutal.
That was
well. You're behind the chains, and this offense doesn't operate well behind the chains. So it's.
But your 1st and 25, your run to Saltchuk to the left on 1st down is blocked up pretty well. Bain pursues from the other side of the field and makes the tackle. Mm-hmm. And then on 2nd down, you've got a quick throw to Lucas to the right. Bain immediately wins because you're trying to get upfield to block. I get it. It's a trade-off here. But he alters the window of the throw, so Lucas has to break back on the ball, and something that's set up to be probably to get you back in 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 8. It's now 3rd and 20, whatever. And then 3rd down, you actually have something else that's schemed up, but your quarterback doesn't see it. Oh, God. So this is where they fake the swing pass to the left. Well,
I've gone back and watched it as well, buddy.
That swing pass is a live play. You can choose that side because the linemen are releasing out there to block. And if there aren't 2-on-2 to block before the linemen get out, you might score.
Yeah.
And the quarterback didn't see it. That is what happened to us in the first half in a nutshell. Their dudes made some manly plays, and our guys did not rise to the occasion.
Well, and if you want, I don't want to blame this game on any one player, but I mean, you look around and look at the way Earl Little handled the big plays down the field compared to the way Jacoby Thomas plays.
Right.
Jacoby Thomas is a stud.
Like, yeah, I'll give you the flea flicker, but other than that, there are many other busts.
I mean, from what I understand, they knew the flea flicker was coming. I mean, they knew Miami was going to run that because of what we were trying to take away. They were going to do that. Look at their screen game. Miami knew exactly what we were going to try to do to take away, so they ran that screen game to perfection.
Excellent little unofficial rub routes there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you release the tight end ahead of it.
Yes. And then they've got a dude that can fly.
Yep, we knew that.
And we called that before the game. He can really fly. He's a guy that scares you, and, well, there you go.
But, this is also where you're going to put guys on islands, and you're going to trade that. You've given up 14 in the break.
You
mission accomplished on defense. Like, you did it.
You had a chance, and you didn't get anything from it. I agree. You get dominated in the third quarter. It's just
once you get to halftime, you think, well, that first drive sure matters. When we kick it to them, this kind of feels like this is going to be critical. And then next thing you know, it's an avalanche.
But again, I think that a lot of our frustrations for things that didn't go well for Florida State in this game, and it's accurate. It can be both. You can say if you're a Florida State defender, hey, and I don't mean defender as in you actually play defense for Florida State. I just mean if you're defending what happened in this game as a narrative and a talking point, you might say, well, they didn't play real well. Well, yeah, but I would argue the other team made it so that you didn't play well. They whooped your ass. They did a lot of things to cause you to hurry up in your mind. When you play good teams who have really good athletes, you tend to hurry in general. And I think we looked hurried at times. We looked out of sorts. Well, that's the opposing team doing that to you.
Yeah, they made plays. They made more plays. For example, the first Danzy end around on that first drive. Now, you end up getting a goal to go anyway. But Deuce gets beat on a block in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
That guy comes free. Now Randy's got to block him, and now Danzy has to make a decision on a cut that he should never have to make. But they win that one-on-one. It's away from the play, but it sets a domino effect that turns that into a gain of 4 instead of a walk-in touchdown. But Miami made about 7 or 8 of those plays that take explosive off the board, and now you've only gained 1, 2, or 3 yards, and that's what great players do, or having better players, I should say. I don't know how great they are, but that's what having better players can do for you. Bain is great. I got you. But the secondary guys, now you're behind the chains and/or you're off a little bit of schedule, and it doesn't have as much juice in the building as you would if you had a 20-yard gain in that moment.
Well, to give you an indicator, we talk about trying to create havoc plays. Miami had 42 pressures in this game. Tom, 42 pressures. I mean, for me, we can, and I'm not saying you're doing this, we can talk about, well, if this and that, and maybe if we had just seen and they're physically better than you, they're out recruiting you, they've got better players than you, and they're whooping your ass because of it. And this has to be eye-opening. Here's your problem, though. As much as this game is disappointing, you lose to a rival, you're able to make the final score respectable because of that empty fourth quarter. Miami's just kind of playing back and letting the clock run.
Also, you could fire their special teams coach. The ball is not going to get to 10 yards in the onside. Why are you running up to touch it?
Twice. Twice.
They were trying.
They were trying.
Oh,
well, their end of game clock management was awful. The throws there, the one that bounces off it comes back towards the. I'm like, what? Are you trying to lose this game that you have no business losing? I'll take it. I mean, that would have been a classic Mario Cristobal because he was trying to Mario Cristobal this bitch. He was trying to lose a game that he had no business losing, but he didn't. They won. Right team won the game. They're the better team. They are. We can play it 5 times. They're going to beat us 5 times. They're better. And I hate having to say that. It's frustrating, but it's real. That's the case. Here's the problem with that. You could be frustrated and angry today, and you could say, well, we got to address this in the offseason. We got to get better in recruiting. We got to do this and do that. All right, fine. The problem is you lost to Virginia the week before. And by losing to Virginia the week before, you've now lost back-to-back ACC games, and you're out of the hunt pretty much for an ACC championship bid. And you now put yourself in a position where this game Saturday at noon against a Pitt team who may have found a quarterback this week is a problem because they're going to blitz like crazy. They're top 5 in tackles for loss this year in the country. And you just lost an offensive lineman. And I don't know. Let's see what we're made of upstairs. I do like the fight in the fourth quarter that tells me they're going to keep fighting in the next game. I don't feel like they're going to emotionally check out because they didn't check out even down 28-3 being dominated, which is nice. And maybe that portends of them coming out and fighting like hell Saturday at noon. Better hope so, because I'll say this. If he loses to Pitt, it's a wrap. He's done. They're not going to fire him because they don't want to pay him, but he's done. This gets back to my dead man walking conversation that we had 2 years ago or 3 years ago. You may be here physically because we can't afford to cut you, but you're done if you lose this Pitt game. That'd be 3 straight losses in the ACC. He's lost 9 of his last 10 ACC games. What the hell are we talking about? It's the ACC. We need to go to the SEC where we can beat people. We beat LSU, no problem. Twice. Beat Alabama, no problem. But we can't beat an ACC team to save our life. Apparently, we got to get out of this godforsakenly difficult conference. What is it? SMU, Clemson, Duke, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia, Miami again. God, dog, Mike. It's the ACC. Sweet Jesus, man.
It's a competitive league.
Where everybody's get right game. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hey, everybody. This is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. ...6171 or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 373031.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life? Your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together. You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it to stay healthy. And now it's easier than ever with Vigor, the all-new cold plunge tub from Hot Spring Spas. Available only at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness. And now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch A Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It's interesting, to be, I think Mike is 20-22 in the ACC now. Ooh, that is, that's problematic.
Yeah, how many years did it take to lose 22 ACC games when we joined?
Oh, good God.
Eons ago.
Yeah.
I probably was an undergrad by the time we lost our 22nd.
Pitt's catching 10.5, by the way, with a total of 58.5. This is a big game, Mike. You kind of need this one, buddy. There's a big picture conversation that a lot of people are having. Some are obviously, hey, hang in there, tough loss, Miami's a better team, Mike will be fine, they'll get it righted, et cetera, et cetera. Others are like, nope, done. And some of you are somewhere in the middle wanting to see the way the rest of this plays out. And that brings me to my point. Narduzzi brings it. Listen, they may give up a lot of points because of it. I mean, you heard Mike talk about it. Heard Gus talk about it. They blitz a lot. So they're going to put you under pressure. But with that, there are a lot of big plays that can be made. They're top 5 tackles for loss in the country. They have 16 sacks and 47 tackles for loss. They just got done benching Eli Holstein, which was a smart move. He had 5 picks, and that kid cost me the West Virginia game, Eli.
Of course, the new kid looks like God's gift.
Oh, Mason? Yeah. Heinschel. Mason Heinschel is his name. If you don't know who he is, now listen, he hasn't played much. He did light it up against Boston College.
But still, he couldn't have gone 14 for 27?
Right, he went 33. So far this year, he's 33 of 45. He's completing 73% of his passes for 359 yards. He's averaging 8 yards per completion, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So he's been good when he's played. Now, again, we'll see how this looks. This will be a very different place for him to come into and play on Saturday. I wish it weren't a noon game, but it is. I'm very curious to see. I just get a sense of the fan base right now. This is really a big deal. You can't lose 3 straight games. We have too many streaks under Mike where you lose 2 and 3 at a time. It's problematic. You can't be this far along in your time here and have a losing record in the ACC. It's troubling. It makes you have the larger conversation.
It's 42 games.
I mean, damn it, man.
It's a lot of games.
That's not a small data set.
It's almost like a year's worth of weekends.
You've got a lot of information, Tom, to digest here, and I don't like the way it reads.
If you think about it, that's like 5 months of losing. it's 22 weeks.
It's frustrating. It's like you can't tell people they're unreasonable for being pissed. Like, they have a reason to be angry. Now, I don't specifically say this Miami game has us on tilt. It's that you've lost back-to-back ACC games to start, your play in the ACC. And you needed to beat Virginia so that this Miami loss was just a loss, and your goals were still before you, and you had opportunities to maybe play well, get better as the year goes on, and maybe you'd go back and get a rematch against Miami in the ACC championship. Depends on how Virginia and Georgia Tech plays and a couple other teams, but maybe you would. But now you don't feel like that's really realistic. Doesn't feel like it's on the table now, does it?
No, would have traded Saturday's defensive effort at Charlottesville right now. I wish we could have sent that group up to Charlottesville. You would have gotten a better result. It would have worked. They weren't perfect, but they were different, and they were ready for specifically what Miami was trying to do, and they took away plan A. That's all you can ask in that moment, because you know that you got to give up something to get something. They lined up with 4 down linemen a whole lot more. They brought 5 and 6 at times. Like, the plan, if you just said, hey, if Miami's got 14 at the break, how do you feel before the game kicks off?
You'd feel very good.
I'd feel very good about that.
Yeah, you'd think it was maybe tied. You might have the lead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, he got it there.
Yeah, you'd feel pretty good about that. I agree. And again,
if you said Miami's got 24 rushing yards at the break, you think we're up by 100.
Well, they didn't finish with that many rushing yards, period.
24.
No, but I'm saying they didn't finish the game with that much in the way of rushing yardage.
Oh, yeah.
Miami's total rushing numbers are pedestrian.
It was under 100, wasn't it?
Yeah, they weren't great.
But it was 12 for 24 in the first half. Okay. Good job. Took away something.
Yeah, you took away the way they wanted to beat you, but Miami had a plan B, and they executed the plan B. They had a bunch of explosive plays, and that leads to the problem you have. And it's a credit to them. I mean, they were smart enough to know Florida State's probably going to sell out and try to stop this, and we did. I mean, look, if you're Miami, if you flip it, you say, oh, yeah, I want to play a game in which Castellanos throws it 45 times. Please let us play that game. Because you're going to bet you win that game 99% of the time.
It means they did not establish their jab, which was interesting because I thought early-ish on.
Yeah,
we were pushing a little bit. We were getting some runs. We were hitting some. Usually in tempo was when we failed. First down out of tempo. We had a harder time with that.
Still don't really know what they're doing with Jalen Lucas. He had 1 carry in this game.
Well, that's my least favorite call of the game is the 2nd and 9 to Danzy to the left. It's the end around where Lucas is on the jet, and you fake to Lucas. Why are they going to bite on Lucas?
Yeah,
you don't use him. They're not going to buy that.
He touched the ball twice.
Yeah,
in the game. But yeah, if I tell you before the game, Mark Fletcher is going to have 12 carries for 40 yards. He's going to average 3.3 yards per carry. You'd say, oh, yes, please. If I told you Shamar Brown was going to have 8 carries for 19 yards, and then they would divvy it up. Jordan Lyles, 7 carries, and he was going to have less than 20 yards. Like, you just go through and look at all their guys and say, well, he's got less than 50 yards. He's got less than 25 yards. He's got less than 20 yards. You'd say, oh, okay, I like this.
Yeah, I'll take my chances. And they're going to hit some stuff over the top. That's fine because it's a race to what? And we thought the race was to the 30s.
In the 30s, yeah.
We couldn't get into the 20s. And I know we did, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we had 3 going to the 4th quarter.
Right.
Come on now. But, yeah, C.J. Daniels and Malachi Toney. And Malachi Toney with over 100 yards. And, look, again, we talk about they brought up penalties. I mean, hell, they had a penalty wipe a touchdown off the board.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have to win this next game. Like, I don't care to go down the path of having the discussion about Mike right now because they're in season. You're not doing anything in season. And there's a lot of football to be played. I'm disappointed. His record in the ACC, disappointing, to say the least. And it sucks to be outclassed the way we were on Saturday night, to see that Miami's that much further along. You had a head start. Shouldn't have happened. That's where we're at. There are a couple of other teams who can bottle up Castellanos, the runner, in the same manner that Miami did. And, you got it. You start thinking about that a little bit. You go, ooh, this troubles me. I mean, Florida certainly can with that defense, and Clemson can if they care to play. So you've got 2 more games where the Miami game plan, where they play a lot of cover 3 and don't give up the big plays down the field, and they play contain and make sure that they're going to stop you from running the ball. There's a couple teams that are equipped to do that in the same manner or close to that Miami is. And the problem is you already have 2 losses. Now, it might just be that, what did we predict? And that when we did 10, did I say 9-3? What did I say? 8-4, 9-3? I can't remember.
I think 8-4.
I think 8-4.
I think you might have been 9-3, which is still potentially on the table.
It's potentially on the table. I can't remember. We originally did 8-4, then we went 9-3.
For the exercise, you have to believe that Miami's quite good. And you might be right.
Yeah,
and at that point, that's the path to say, well, okay, you got slapped around by a team that's just way better.
Well, I think Miami is good.
They are. They are. They're better than us. There ain't no doubt about that.
I think they're very good. And they built it through the lines of scrimmage. And, that's smart. That's smart. And then they go out and get a guy that if you give him time, he will make those throws. He will make those throws.
Yeah, they had a lot of the members of the secondary got downhill and made plays, too, in this game. And they needed to cut things down. You notice, too, on a lot of the trick plays, this is where having a bye helps them. I mean,
oh, yeah.
We're going from one side to the other, and you see that they got 3 defenders with their eyes on both sides of the ball. And you're like, yep, they were ready because they know we're going to go east and west and move and shake. They were ready for it.
Once again, just disappointed with the play of our linebackers, which is kind of consistently the case currently. This is frustrating. This is 2 games in a row where I saved you the text, Tom. I didn't do it. I know how busy you are. You got post-game duties and all of that. I was like 5 or 6 times, like, man, about to say something about, Stephon Thompson, about Elijah Herring, about Blake Nicholson, about, I'm like, you know what? Not going to do it. Not going to do it. He knows. He's looking at the game.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Well, and we got them flowing one way or the other. The linebacker level, I think that was correct. It's just hard to come away with only 3 in that first half. The more I watched it, because I watched during the commercial breaks, because God knows there's a million of them during the games, especially at 7:30.
Yeah. So
you get a sense of what's going on there, but your blood's up because, it's live and you're playing your rival. And again, this morning, if I'm Gus, and I'm not saying Gus was perfect on Saturday, but if I'm Gus, 3? We only got 3?
Well, if you're Gus, you got to calm Tommy down. You got to get him to throw the ball. It's in there. Occasionally you watch Tommy make a throw where you're like, oh, there it is. There it is. Set your feet. It's accurate. It was, there's a moment in time over these last 2 weeks where there's a throw where you say, oh, man, that was anticipatory, accurate, thrown with a lot of what for. It's on time. He recognizes what he's seeing. The problem is, and he just mixes in a lot of these errant, like, what in the hell was that throw?
I mean, again, that's the 4th and 8. Gus wasn't mad at him because he got hit on the throw. He's like, it's the right read. He's also jumping before he gets hit, and he's doing the flailing thing as he's letting go of the ball before he gets hit.
We didn't need to be going for it on 4th and 8 either.
Well, you've also got a guy looking you right in the eyes who's 15 feet in front of you who's going to pick up the first down if you're not seeing it. Your eye. This is what Tony Tokars was warning about in the preseason, was at some point, sometimes you just need to look right in front of you and take what they're giving you, and he had a hard time with the check down on Saturday night, which tells me that it was sped up in his head.
So what do they do at offensive tackle for this game? Because apparently you don't have another one.
Well, Herb told us that and translates. He said, I think our backup tackle is probably a guard and our backup center is probably a guard. That's what he was thinking preseason.
It's not who we put out there. They're going to have to help with the tight ends. They're going to have to do something. I mean, this angers me. You got to do a better job recruiting.
Okay, so there was one pressure. Tommy gets sacked late first half, and it's from the right. It's a boundary side pressure, something we talked about a lot last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we don't have a rule or if we ignored the rule or missed the rule.
I'm sure we have a rule.
I'm sure we have a rule to turn your ass around if you see a slot blitz from the same side or whatever. It's a weak side blitz. And Randy and Deuce are in 2 long developing routes to the right. Now, Deuce will be open, but it's too late because of, the blitz.
The pressure, that's correct.
That's something that you can specifically look on film and say, all right, this is going to happen again a lot this weekend. Pitt's going to bring pressure. Randy or Deuce, one of you. I need you to stop and turn around.
Break it off.
Yeah. That's what you're going to have to. You got to be ready for that this weekend.
You're going to have a real trust there to do that, though. It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A former Tallahassee teacher is now in state prison for... This is Rachel and A with the Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 86 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies with a chance of thunderstorms. Winds out of the east 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Chance of thunderstorms. Lows level off around 71. High temperatures reach up to 89 tomorrow. A blend of clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 81 degrees.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs. From the fairway to the fire pit, we've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Deuce Robinson's having a good year, Tom.
He's a good player.
Yeah, 6 receptions, 87 yards in this game, long of 30. He's a problem for people. Randy Pittman, as we suggested, would I think that was my guest in Red Zone. He had 7 receptions. So Deuce Robinson was who I thought would have the most receptions. He had 6. We thought Randy, and then I reversed it, I think.
I gave you the option. I said Deuce is going to be the leading target, leading receiver.
Yeah, I said Randy
what position is the second position?
Tight end, yeah. It ended up being correct.
He's a good player.
By a landslide. Randy Pittman's a great player. He's a fun player to watch play football. You got you one there. He's a good player. Thank goodness he came over from UCF. He's a player. Cromaw's a player. No doubt about that. I think he's going to be fine. I like him. He looks the part.
Yeah, the fumbling thing is going to be a problem with him because he refuses to go down.
Strong, just cares.
It's the checks and balances. The same thing with Tommy. He's going to make plays you got no business making, and he's going to make plays that you, how? It's open. What? Same thing with Cromaw here.
Yeah. It's interesting. If you look at the carries for this game, Tommy ran 16 times, had to. A lot of that is just makeshift running around. Gavin Sawchuk, 11 carries. Usman Cromaw, 6 carries. Lucas 1, Danzy 2, Williams, Roydell came back. Thanks for the 1 carry, 0 yards. Sam Singleton, 1 carry, -1 yard. That's the output in your rushing attack in this game, and you're trailing by a ton. So, I get it.
Roydell was wide the hell open on that Randy Pittman 3rd and 8. But, what are you going to do?
There's Tommy's. He's gonna kick himself.
So is Randy. So
yeah, he's gonna kick himself on some of these the throws, the interceptions. The one is just woeful. I mean, just a horrible.
It's a
decision.
give up interception. That's
the panicky, silly. You got no chance in hell to make that throw. What
did you not see the safety? Yeah, because if it's a 1-on-1, okay, I can kind of understand the shot. But did you not know the safety was there? And I feel like a lot of the times that the ball was snapped, he didn't know what he was looking at before the ball came his way. Now, the one time that he did know, and the broadcast crew had no idea, it's a trick play, guys. It's designed in the offense, looking to the sideline, clapping, and the ball is on its way.
Yeah.
They spent 90 seconds. Oh, my God, that could have been so much worse. Fellas, did you not watch the Alabama game?
Yeah.
It was the first big 3rd down in which we got a holding call. Do you prep? Because it's a trick play. But there were a lot of times that Tommy did not know legitimately what he was seeing, and it's kind of hurtful.
Yeah. So now you face an Arduzzi team that, again, is going to ratchet up the pressure. This moving on from Miami. Look, I hate it. Still pissed about it. Miami's a better team, though, as hard as it is to admit that. They are. So you lose that game. Pitt's most assuredly not a better team than Florida State, and neither was Virginia. And you lose to Virginia, and you've put yourself now in a pretty difficult situation. You now are under the gun. You now have to rattle off some wins here and get your confidence back, get back to, getting this in a place of positive discussion and, the stuff around the program. You don't want this to be ratcheted into the kind of noise that becomes crippling. And we've seen it. We've watched our team go through it. We've seen others go through it. It's something I marvel at. I don't know how Billy Napier keeps it from happening at Florida, but he does. He does. Neither you nor I were shocked at all that Florida beat Texas. Texas got problems, but not surprised at all that Florida beat Texas. They'll fight for that dude. They will fight for that dude.
They will dig a hole, and then they'll just fight in that hole and climb their way kind of out, kind of not, and leave people in limbo.
It's got to be tough, but I mean, they're gonna keep fighting.
It's it shouldn't be Bayou Billy. It should be Billy. Well, what do you do, Napier?
Well, if you're Billy, you go to your administration and say, "Can we stop scheduling like a-holes?" But anyhow, back to this. You got to keep this from spiraling, and most assuredly, if you lose to Pitt on Saturday, you have lost every ounce of energy, positive energy that you gained by coming out the gates with that big win against Alabama. More and more. I mean, I'm talking about the dollars contributed to the battle's end. I'm talking about the boosters. I'm talking about the diehard fans. I'm talking about everybody that wants to see this program get back on its feet. These things dry up in a hurry if you F around and lose 3 straight and, start 0-3 in the ACC.
I don't think they're going to lose on Saturday, but I'm here to say, like you are, that if they do, we're done here energy. Everybody. I mean, okay, 90+%.
Oh, yeah.
We're done here. All right. We've seen enough.
I think a lot of people are there.
But I don't.
But yeah, they're definitely there if you lose to Pitt.
It's the one thing about the effort in the fourth quarter that gives you hope that it's not going to happen this week.
Right.
Even when Tommy, you get the 2-point conversion, so you push it to 19.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets twisted and tackled. Mesidor gets him on the ground. He's hurt. That I see offensive linemen and skill position players all running to him to pick him up off the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, they did what you would want a team to do, a cohesive group to do, one that cares about each other and plays the game the right way. I'm not.
It doesn't help you feel better about Saturday, but it helps you feel better about next Saturday.
Correct. And yeah, I'm not here to insult the effort from this team. They weren't good enough. They didn't execute on some things, and they probably kicked themselves over that. Miami's got better players. They did a better job in this football game. But you got to go on now. You that's the best defensive line you're probably going to face. We'll see with Clemson, but Florida's got a good defense.
Not an end. Oh my God.
Not an end, but
Holy smokes, they're good.
Florida's got a real good defensive line too. So, you've got a couple more tough ones, but Miami may be the best that you're going to see on the defensive front. So now you got to get fat. Start winning some damn ACC games. Good God, he's lost 7 straight.
It's the quest for 22-22. Starts this weekend. You need to win 2 in a row. You win this one, you go to Stanford, you win that, you get to the bye week at 22-22 in ACC play.
Well, you'll be 5-2, more importantly, and you'll be hosting Wake Forest, who you should beat. So, you have a chance to see this thing to 6-2 and gather some positive momentum, go into Clemson. Obviously, Virginia Tech has been a mess. You're hosting that game, then you're at NC State and at Florida. You're in the thick of it now. We're in it now. We're basically at the halfway point. Yeah, you got to stay. That's right. You got to stay on your feet. You got to stay on your feet here, man. A bit of a standing 8, but we're all right.
Stay with it. Stay with it.
Come on, man.
Don't go down.
Look at me here. Come on. Get through this. Let's go. Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV will be here in a moment. Ira Schoffel will join me in that hour.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke.
Your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's Termite and Pest Control Technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your sports flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now 4-1. They knocked off Seattle yesterday, 38-35. Levante David has an interception with 58 seconds to go, and that sets up a Chase McLaughlin 39-yard field goal with time expiring, and the Buccaneers get the win. They host San Francisco on Sunday. A terrible loss for the Miami Dolphins. They had a 17-point lead against a not very good Carolina team, and they end up blowing it, and they lose to Carolina 27-24. Dolphins are going to host the Chargers coming up next Sunday. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they are in action tonight with Monday Night Football as they are set to play host to the Kansas City Chiefs. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Hey, everybody. This is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hey, are you ready to raise your glass? Because on Saturday, October 25th, the Thomasville Brewfest is back, bigger and better than ever. General admission to the beer garden opens at 1 with the fun flowing till 5. 1 in early? Then snag a VIP ticket for exclusive early access to unlimited tastings. And don't miss the Vendor Village starting at 11. Open to everyone, no ticket required for that. This year, enjoy even more breweries than last year. Live music, food trucks, and shopping with local small businesses. VIP ticket holders get the ultimate experience. Early tastings, swag bags packed with goodies, and catered food from local favorites. Tickets are now on sale at Eventbrite. Just search Thomasville Brewfest. And don't forget, use the code RADIO at checkout to save. Thomasville Brewfest. Sip, savor, and celebrate local flavor. Hey everybody, this is Greg Tish, and I want to personally invite you to join us each and every weekday morning right here on Real Talk 93.3 for the Greg Tish Show. We have the best guests in Tallahassee. We play the funnest games like Give Me a Second, the movie clip game, and everybody loves a food segment every weekday morning at 6:45. So start your day with Tallahassee's morning show, the Greg Tish Show, right here on Real Talk 93.3.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cathartic, right? Let's come here and work it out. We'll figure it out together. All of us. I'm Jeff. That is Tom. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for supporting Real Talk 93.3 FM, Tallahassee's only locally owned and operated radio station. Thanks for supporting local. Thanks for supporting Warchant TV on the YouTube. Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Kurt said, I went during the break. This first I've looked at the chat, and I see where Kurt said, I've listened to the show for a long time. I've heard you talk like this very few times. Direct question, is Mike's job on the line this week? In your opinion, lose versus Pitt, do you want him fired? Thanks for the contribution and the question, Kurt. Yeah, I think over the years I've had moments like this where we've had to have the tough discussions, or we've had to say that, look, a guy's in trouble. I try to be balanced with not balanced in the sense that, like, I'm going to not tell you something that's my opinion because I'm worried about the ramifications or the way that it contributes to the larger fodder or anything like that. I mean, my job is to give you my opinion. They pay me to do that, and I'm going to do that no matter what. And there have been moments. There was a moment with Mike already in his career here in which we said, look, this doesn't get turned around. He's a dead man walking. And I will answer your question that way because I think it's yeah, man, he's got a real problem if he loses on Saturday. There's what long-term is going to happen, short-term what's going to happen, my thoughts on what should happen, people's opinions about what should happen, and then there's the reality. The reality is, if he loses to Pitt, they're not going to fire him. Like, the game clock's not going to strike zero and he's going to get fired. No, he's not going to get fired. But for all intents and purposes, his time here is done. I mean, at that point, he's 20-23 in the ACC if he loses to Pitt. He will have lost 8 straight ACC games. He will have lost 10 of his last 11 ACC games. This is effing Florida State. You cannot be out here sub 500 in year 6 in the ACC. You cannot be out here losing to teams who do not have the same resources as you. See, now Miami does, but Virginia doesn't. Pitt sure as hell doesn't. You cannot be out. Florida State, just so you know, and I want to make this abundantly clear because I heard a lot of this, and in my inbox it's there. People talk about, well, Miami's outspending Florida State. Oh, but not by much. Not by much at all. Florida State is in the top 14 in terms of roster budget. They at various points in the last 3 years, they've been 7, 9, 11. I mean, they are invested. Florida State pays good money for players. They show up in NIL. The Battle's End is doing all they can thanks to your contributions and others. So you can't cry poor mouth here. And when you're losing ACC games to Georgia Tech or Virginia or Pitt, man, those teams are not outspending you. You have better players. This isn't about the money. It's not. You've got to do a much better job of not just assessing the players you bring in, but developing them. And listen, there are some promising young players. This last class provided you some real promise. This is what would be bitterly disappointing if, in fact, this starts to go south again, because you do have a Kevin Wynn, and you do have Desir twins, who I like a lot. I think are going to be good players. And you do have some guys like Cromaw's a real player. He's a dude now. I think Cromaw would play at a lot of places, a lot of upper crust places he would play. That's why Georgia was recruiting him. That's why you had to pay big money to steal him from Georgia. He's a player. Now he'll get better. He's young, and he's constantly fighting for yards, which I appreciate, but it does lead to putting the ball on the ground. He'll learn. But he's a promising player. I think, obviously, Deuce is a stud. I mean, you had to pay good money for Deuce Robinson. I mean, this is a kid who projects NFL, big-time NFL. So you got some NFL dudes now. But that class, and I know Deuce isn't part of that class, but I'm just saying, like, you look around, they've got some kids from that class that you like. You like the young center, Sandman. You like him a lot.
Yeah, you like Boggs.
Yes, you do like Boggs. Like, well, we have one catch, but yeah, you like Boggs. So there's some guys. Lord knows we'll throw money at tight ends. Apparently, we're going after 3 more. Can we talk about that too? Can we stop with the tight ends? Why are we spending so much money on effing tight ends? Can we spend that money on defensive linemen and offensive linemen, please? I like a good tight end as next to the next guy. I don't need 7. Anyhow, that's a roster management discussion. Different time, different day. Stop going after 5 and 6 tight ends all the damn time. But for me, what will happen is if Mike loses that game, he continues to see the support dry up. And, I don't know how anybody, no matter how pro Mike Norvell you are, and I like Mike Norvell, the person, I like him, and I think he's passionate and cares and works hard. I'm not knocking any of that, but the record's the record. I mean, this is a very easy thing to assess. If you're 20-23 in the ACC, you are not living up to the standard of Florida State football. You're not what we need. If you're going to sit out here and be, 6 and 7, 8 years in, sub 500 in this conference, you know what? I'll tell you this. If he loses Saturday, that's why I say it's a huge game. I'm not saying they will lose. I'm saying if he loses on Saturday, Florida State loses, and that's the 3rd straight loss, and 2 of those are to Virginia and Pitt, I can tell you, people are going to sit around and really hope like hell that somehow Arkansas reaches out to him and we can get out from under this burden. It's a win-win. You'd call his agent, who's everybody's agent, and you'd say, hey, man, let your boy restart the clock somewhere else. Give me your next man up. We're moving on from him. Tell Arkansas to hire him. He'll take the job. You start thinking things like that. You really do.
You would, yes, Saturday at 2:30 if it's not going
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Saturday, if he loses. I'm not there right now. I'm not saying fire Mike Norvell today or anything like that, but I'm saying he's a dead man walking if he loses Saturday.
Yeah, I think the fan base is ready to fall. It's because you're talking about the players. They're backed into a corner. That was the end of the last hour. The fan base is ready. Like, if you just hit them with one more square shot, which is a loss to Pitt, you could still finish the season with a record that we predicted. But the way that this all went down, the gasoline that is the Alabama win, which you're never going to trade. You want that win. Yeah. You need that win.
We need more SEC teams on the schedule.
We do. We really do. It sped up expectations and it changed the conversation from, can we just look better? Which I think they still are. I think that goal has been achieved.
Yeah, they're better.
They're better.
Yeah.
To, hey, we should make the playoff at this point. If not us, then why not us? And if you now are staring at 3 straight losses, that excitement turns so negative.
It's evaporated.
People went to heights they didn't think they would be going this fall, and they're already charged up. And Miami embarrassed you, and you saved face, but Miami really embarrassed you, and you're still holding on to the snub and the 2-10. Like, it all comes back to the surface if you lose on Saturday. But if you just take care of business on Saturday, the bell rings.
Yeah, you got a chance to build
a little.
Yeah, you got Stanford after that, whom you should beat. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and you go into the bye. You're 6-2.
Yeah, you're 6-2. You're hosting for you'd be 5-2. 5-2. I like you trying to sneak an extra win in there. But then you got Wake Forest here.
Good shot at being 6-2.
Good shot at being 6-2. And okay, you start to believe again. We know wins and losses happen for a reason, and they affect people's emotions. Noel's Age writes, depending on how you want to say it, thank you for taking the time to meet my father and I. Absolutely. Great cast as always. In your opinion, was the 4th quarter more attributed to us getting out of our own way or Miami calling off the dogs at the game? It seemed to be both. Well, they made some plays. I mean, Tommy made some plays. I don't want to take that away. Thanks for the contribution, too. I appreciate you, brother. But no, I think it's wholeheartedly Miami calling off the dogs and just basically keeping everything in front of them. I mean, goodness gracious. We went on a, 19-play, 96-yard drive that ate up a ton of time, which was what Miami
we didn't have, and they were fine with it.
Yeah, they were like, that's good. Let's just keep letting them do it, And look, it's the crux of the game. Miami was up 28-3. They dominated. Cody writes, year 6, 1 season at the Standard, 5 have not been. The brand is being hurt at this point. This is how you turn into Nebraska. Fire him. Cody probably represents a lot of people at this point. I think the brand's going to be fine, but I understand your frustration and your concerns. Thank you for the question and contribution. Florida man in Alabama. Did Tom or the director put together a I Wrecked the Gus Bus video to complement the original? Well, Jeff's midweek gut feeling is in the tent of suspicion. His assessments of the upgrades was on point. Yeah. Well, and also what we talked about in the game where we said, look, it may just be that Miami has better players all over the field and all of these intangibles and things that we're hoping come to Florida State's aid in a home football game at night, Miami's first road game. I think those were true too. We said, look, straight up, I'm really concerned that their offense and defensive lines are going to be a lot for Florida State to overcome. I think Tony did the right thing. I think Tony said, look, I really have to make sure that we don't get run on in the way that we did against Virginia, because that's what Miami wants to do. And you could tell early, I mean, they really attacked the run and did everything they could in obvious run situations where they're like, nope, you're not today. We're not doing this out here today. And you could see Miami had to go to plan B. And plan B was to hurt you with the screens and then the big plays over the top, the shot plays. Those are perfectly timed calls, great throws, well-executed plays. The explosive plays that Mike referenced today, I was thinking about that after the game. Like, we didn't really have any explosive plays. They did. It's frustrating, but it's very real. I mean, those plays matter. And you really, to some extent, you whiffed on a couple of opportunities where you would have had an explosive. I mean, the one to Squirrel, I think, from the angle that I had, I wish I could go back.
This is near the Miami sideline.
Yeah. He's still running. Yeah. He's still running. I mean, I think he's, you're certainly going to be down there inside the 5. He may score. I don't know. I mean, it's like,
what was that, 21-3 at the time?
You got a chance to make that. What?
Or was that earlier in the game?
I think it might have been earlier. I got to go back and look at it again. I watched it this morning.
Second quarter, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. It was second quarter. Yeah, it's wide open. And that's one of those plays you're talking about where you have a chance. It's dialed up. It's the right call. They're beat. You've got to make that throw.
Yeah.
You got to make that throw. He missed that same throw against Virginia. And it got lost in the shuffle because of the fact that we ended up amassing over 500 yards of offense and scoring 38 points. But that was a big he missed that throw. And I don't know why that particular throw causes problem for him, but it does.
Yeah, this is who he is,
right,
as a player until further notice.
Yeah,
and we thought maybe after the Alabama game, we thought, well, is he growing into something more? Because we saw it with Jordan. We saw Jordan grow into something that he never was before. Yeah. And you think, I know it's different circumstances and different leadership because Gus is now running the offense, but you think, all right, if you've catered to him, is his confidence at a level that puts him in a position that if he needs to make 8 big throws a game, he makes 5 of them, whereas he used to make 2. And the guy we got on Saturday was he'll make 2 of the throws and he'll miss on 6 of them. And that's killer. But it also has affected his read option game as well. There were 3 or 4 of those that I just don't know what he's doing. And one of them he checked into to start the second drive of the game. It's a total check. It's him at the line deciding to do something else. And both ends of the read option were destroyed, which also speaks to, good trench play on the other side.
Get another question in there from Brock. This one is, if you were a recruiter, where would you get the studs at linebacker geographically? Same place you get all the studs at every position. The state of Florida, the state of Georgia, Texas. I'm not a big fan of recruiting California, but hey, that's me. I would, but yeah, Texas, Georgia, Florida, those 3.
It was hurtful. Yeah, last cycle you ran on 3 or 4. The thought was entering the summer, you're going to close with at minimum 2, and bupkis.
Yeah. So you got. Again, I brought this up in terms of linebacker play. I'm a broken record. My friends and colleagues are tired of me bringing up linebacker play. It's just substandard to be at Florida State and not have good, let alone elite linebacker play consistently. It's frustrating. I know linebacker it doesn't have the same importance it once did in the modern game. But it's still, if you've got a good one, they stand out. You certainly see it. You see it every Sunday. You see it every Saturday. Teams who have elite linebacker play stand out. They flash. You watch guys hawking plays down to the outside, and it's a 4-yard gain, not a 30-yard gain. You watch those plays kind of it makes it that much more difficult for people. Plus, you can send them. So, we haven't had it. It's pissing me off to no end. It's hard to watch. My favorite player of all time is Marvin Jones. And Derek Brooks is high on my list of favorite players too. So, and I used to love Todd Rebold. Darrell Bush. I mean, I can go on and on and on with linebacker. We've had some awesome linebackers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
If you listed 30 names, 27 of them would be prior to 2013. That's the issue. And you had a couple good ones then. You had Bethune and Deloach, which we're longing for that right now. We'd take that. Kalen Deloach shot out of a cannon with this scheme in terms of pressures. Love it.
Yeah, you would.
Bethune to get you organized. Would love it. But those two might stand alone over a period of 10 years, 12 years.
It's not.
We were lamenting it in 2014 when we lost Telvin. Is there a replacement for Telvin?
Yeah, it's not up to par. But
you know, kind of ever since.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's two areas that you say that about seemingly annually. It's that position and it's the offensive line under this current coach. I mean, God, this offensive line situation. They went out and got 5 pretty good to good players on the offensive line. Not elite, but good. And it's about what you're going to do in the portal anymore. The portal has changed. There's not a lot of elite superstars on the lines of scrimmage available in the portal anymore. People have adapted and adjusted with the portal situation. You got to get those through recruiting. And that's where Miami's killing you. I mean, Miami is doing a very good job of recruiting that talent along the line of scrimmage. And many of the kids that we talk about were head-to-head battles that we lost. And you want to be elite. You don't want to just be good. You want to get to a place where, like, right now, those folks in Miami are looking at this team, and they're looking around the landscape of college football, and they're going, we could win a national title.
Well, with that defensive front, sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're talking about.
Gus said yesterday he's a very good coordinator. That might be true, but I think a lot of people would be with Bain and Mesidor.
It's tough not to be, right?
Yeah, a lot of the things that you can dial up. I mean, hell, you know, Tommy saw ghosts. It was the first drive of the game. It's 3rd and goal. They only rushed 3. They drop 8 in the end zone. Why do you think he's seeing ghosts? Because he knows the scout.
Absolutely. And also, you know, he's watched the film. He's seen that. And it's turned out to be true. They had over 40 pressures.
Well, later in the game, yes. Most every other drive, sure, take off early because you got real problems. But even when you don't, the reputation precedes itself. And that also bleeds into the scheme that you can draw up if you're Heatherman. And Heatherman's not, I'm not saying he's not a bad coach, but my God, those two, that's a great way to start your tenure at a new school is with those two weapons.
I give him credit. I watched Ira and Corey in the post game driving back, pulled up on my phone, and Corey brought up the point. I want to credit where credit's due, how Florida State starts seasons. And then there seems to be this trend in like 4 of the last 5 seasons where you get this big win early. And he's right. You have the LSU wins. You had that Notre Dame game going back. You had the game this year against Alabama. And then the team kind of trails off, and they don't really get better throughout the course of the year. Even the undefeated team was out the gates, looked phenomenal on offense, but that offense really became pedestrian as the year went on. They struggled to run the football, as we know, and you and I were frustrated. You think back on some of those wins. They narrowly beat Pitt. They narrowly beat Miami, who wasn't very good. Now obviously they got the win against Clemson, but then it wasn't because of the offense.
No.
And so that defense had a bunch of NFL players on it, and you were able to get a lot of stops, and therefore you could win. But your offense really wasn't great at all that final year. And, you know, it is a troubling trend. Like, I don't know the reason for that. I can't. Well, people have asked that question. I don't know the answer to that.
In 22, it's the competition quality stepped up in the middle of the season. In this case, I think that you could say the same, especially with Miami being the anchor in the middle of it. I mean, you're going to look bad against a better competition. But I'm telling you, I hate to be a broken record and oversimplify it. There's a lot out there for the offense in the first half of that game.
In the first half, but
well, you change everything. If you're at 14-13 Miami at the break, you don't think we got a little bit more juice? I think we do.
Yeah, but I don't want to paint a picture that suggests we were unlucky to lose to Miami. We were thoroughly beaten.
I don't either, but I think it's fair to point out at the same time, while Miami has better players and they're the better team, that the quarterback helped us leave a lot out there.
Oh, he played a terrible game, and that's why I included it in our discussion. Yeah, it was not good.
It kind of reminds me of Jordan's game at NC State in 22 in that regard, where you're like, man, Adam Fuller turned in a great night. Kind of needed Jordan not to be rat trapping. Like, what a horrible time for this to happen because we're holding him to 14 points, and he didn't trust your kicker that night. And then he got a special teams mishap. In this game, I'm looking at the quarterback going, God almighty, this game could be within touch because Tony changed his scheme. You got away with a couple of misses, but then also you stopped the run. You could be within 1 score at the break. Instead, you're down 11 and you feel like One more touchdown for Miami, and that's the game.
Yeah, I do think it's important to note that 188, nearly half of your yardage in this game came in the fourth quarter. I mean, you really...
No, yes, but you had 130 and change in the first two quarters, and I'm telling you there's like 100 out there that...
Yeah.
Come on, man. Make the play.
Let's get Ira's perspective on it. We'll do it next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
We talk about the most important things in your life, your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together. You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
Let me tell you, as a homeowner, I used to dread every rainstorm. Water would flow around the outside of my home, my yard, and the gutters would clog and overflow. I'd have to make sure I had buckets and duct tape ready every time. Then I called New Vision Gutters, and I can see the difference. Now I sleep through the storms. No puddles, no leaks, no clogs, no stress. If you've got water problems, trust me. Call the pros at New Vision Gutters, where they take pride and passion in protecting your most valuable possessions. It's the MVP treatment and the best call I ever made.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until a mosquito attack begins.
Falls Termite Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away, and our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paws can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paws. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paws, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results for remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paws. We'll get them all.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, let's bring him in. My man, cohort, good buddy, and all-around sage. Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com, joins us as he's wont to do on Mondays. He'll also be on the Smash tonight, as he's also wont to do. Look forward to seeing he and Tom talk about this. I don't know how much they're looking forward to having to talk about it necessarily. Maybe a little tequila. Ira, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. You notice they never call a young dude a sage.
Right.
Right. So I think that's.
But it beats being just called an old man.
That's fair.
All right, brother. Like I watched you and Corey after the game as I had you on in the passenger seat on my phone as I drove home. So that's what I would tell you. But I heard everything you guys had to say. But you know what? I always think that on Mondays we've all rewatched the game. We've all thought about it some more. We've gone back and looked at situations. We've had time to digest a little bit more. As we sit here, right now, what are your thoughts on that disappointment that played out on Saturday night?
I actually caught part of your show earlier, and you. I think you summed it up. I think the unfortunate thing is that they lost the Virginia game. I think Miami's a better team, and if they're going to play that well, you're probably not going to beat them. I don't know who is going to beat them.
Right.
Somebody better than Florida State. So I thought FSU had a good chance in that game because I thought Miami wouldn't play very well on the road. I thought the crowd would affect them, but they were. One thing that I thought was really smart, and I didn't watch a lot of Miami. I've watched a little bit of them, but I don't know if it's something they always do or they only did for this game. But they got the play. They huddle up before every play almost, and they get the play call, and then they go run the play. Like they're not asking Carson Beck to make line checks, and so that's where Alabama got in trouble. They kept trying to do a lot of motion and changing plays at the line of scrimmage, and that's where they got screwed. Well, Carson Beck didn't do any of that. He just got up there and ran the play. And it worked out that their play calls matched up. I actually heard him talk about this after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Two of their big shot plays, when he got to the line and saw the defense, he's like, okay, I like this. And so they were really well coached. I think the bye week worked well for them. And so all things considered, it's not a demoralizing loss. And Miami's better than them, but it's the losing the Virginia game that puts you now really behind the 8 ball and maybe takes away your chances to do something special this season.
Yeah, you can't lose 3 straight games in the conference to start ACC play. And again, 2 of those games, if you were to lose to Pitt, I'm not saying they will at all, but if they do, the heat's right back on. The conversation changes. Everything about the season seems, up for debate at that point. And also neither Virginia nor Pitt have the roster or the resources that you have. So there's really, it would be inexcusable. There'd be no way to talk about this team other than to talk about how angry everybody is at the head coach and the situation they find themselves in. I think, Ira, though, part of the problem too is that, yeah, Miami's better, and we've all said that, and it was pretty much on display, especially for the first 3 quarters in that game. But, you had a head start on him, and that's why people get mad is they're saying, wait a minute now, why is Miami significantly better than you? And that creates a whole nother dialogue about where we're at this point in his tenure.
Yeah, I think that's fair to a degree. On the one hand, I do think, and Mike Norvell was asked about this today, and he didn't go into specifics, but we all understand that Miami's got one of the higher paid payrolls in college football, and you can't just dismiss that. They went out and got a quarterback for $4 million.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you, Tommy Castellanos is not getting anywhere near $4 million.
No,
they wouldn't have paid enough to get Cam Ward last year either. So I just think that that's part of it. I think Marty has done a good job of evaluation. They did a great job in the portal this year. But they also have a pretty stacked payroll, so I don't think it's apples to apples. But yeah, it's fair to make that criticism. But also, we knew that going in, so that's why I'm not getting mad about it. It's like all the people that were tweeting over the weekend, Mike Norvell's record in the last 10 ACC games. It's like, okay, we all saw last season, like that was there. I know you're mad that you lost this game, but now you're gonna be mad again because you lost all those games last year. Well, we knew they lost those games last year, so. I get it, man, but I just, I'm a little bit more, because I'm not a diehard FSU fan. I think I see it a little bit more pragmatically. I think
you wouldn't be pragmatic, I don't think, if they lose to Pitt, though.
No question, no question, and that's why the Virginia game stunk. That they didn't play well. I'm sure the coaches are kicking themselves. One little thing, like. I don't know. Could you have pushed Kevin Wynn up a week earlier? He would have helped on that defensive line in that game against Virginia. Or maybe if you just, you play with more physicality, whatever it is, that game's the game. At the end of the season, when you look back, if they don't, and I don't know, the Doors, them being ranked in the top 25 I think is actually a big deal, because I think it keeps you in the consciousness. And if you win against Pitt and you look good doing it, then you move up to 20 or 21. If you roll off some of these wins here, I think you get back in the conversation. And then at the end of the year, if you look back, and I'm writing about this in my 3-2-1, you get back, if they somehow do run the table and you go back and look and you've got a loss in double overtime to Virginia, and Virginia may end up being a good team. They're not going to be a bad team, I don't think, by the end of the year. And you lost to Miami, who may end up being undefeated by 6 points at home. We all know it didn't look like that in real time, but that's what it's going to look like 2 or 3 months from now. Your resume is going to give you a chance to be in the playoff. But if you lose another game here on the road, along the way, or 2 or whatever, but if you only lose one more, you're going to be kicking yourself about that Virginia game forever. And, that's unfortunate.
Do you think, a couple questions here about Tommy, in the right now, Florida State, as you wrote in your piece, Florida State has 9 turnovers in 5 games, tied for 112th in the country. They're not all interceptions, but obviously Tommy has thrown his fair share of interceptions now. Do you think he's trying to do too much, or do you think it's a bit of that? And is he totally healthy?
I think it's more trying to do too much, and also, this being the first time he's in this situation. I really wish, I really wish they could convey to him that the answer to them being successful is not him making big plays, either throwing or running. I mean, he's putting so much pressure on himself. It was brought up today also in the press conference that, he was emotional on the field. I think the camera's getting emotional after the game. And it's like, I think he's feeling that way. And he went into the locker room and apologized to the team afterwards. That's all admirable. But I think he feels like he's got to be the savior. And I think that is not what they need him to be. They need him to run the offense, make the plays that are there to make, but also throw it away occasionally. I mean, that's the interception on 1st and 10 was just crazy.
He's had a couple of those head scratchers, Ira.
Oh, I know, but that's who he is.
Yeah.
He made plays in that game that, name me another quarterback with that against that pass rush that makes some of the other plays he made. So you're going to give and take with that. But I do think if it's a mentality thing with him, and maybe he can't change it, but I do feel like he thinks he's got to be the hero for this team to have a chance. And these next few games will be really good to see if Gus can get him to realize that's not the case. Because he was not the hero against Alabama. He played well, but he threw like 14 passes. Like, they didn't need to, and he didn't run for 200 yards. They need him to run the offense and not try to be a hero.
That's 100% accurate. You're not going to win very many games when Tommy Castellanos is being asked to throw the football 40 times or more than 40 times. Like, that's not who he is. He can't do that. I'm with you. I think the sweet spot is somewhere between 15 to 20. And that means everything else is going well. And also, we both know, I think in this offense, you really need to be in touch. You cannot be in a situation where you're down 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, because of this is not a sophisticated passing offense.
Oh, 100%. That's what somebody texted me after the game. In the fourth quarter, as they're trying to come back and they're going on a 19-play 2-minute offense drill, that you miss the days of a more of a pro-style offense. But yeah, that's what it is. And the two things you can't do is you can't get behind a couple scores. That's why you can't have turnovers. You can hold serve, you just can't have turnovers. And then the other thing you can't do is play from behind the chains. And because of penalties, they end up behind the chains. So those are the reasons. Like, it was academic that they were not going to win that football game, in my opinion.
We'll see you tonight, good sir. And I don't know if you'll need medicine to rehash it all, but good luck, and we'll tune in tonight to the Smash. Be good, sir.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yep, see you later. Ira Schoffel, he and Tom tonight, 7 o'clock. Gear you up right before the NFL Monday Night Football game.
Might catch a little bit of back in Arizona Dominic if he's available. He said he wanted to come on tonight. So
all right,
we'll check and see if we get some all 22 perspective.
It was good to talk to Dominic. And really, really quick before we go to break, I want to thank everybody that came out on Friday's remote. For those of you that missed it, I had a wonderful opportunity to talk with my old teammate and good buddy, William Floyd, Florida State legend, but I also had a chance to talk with Peter Warwick. I enjoyed that conversation immensely. I thought he really kind of opened up. And that was a great conversation with one of the all-time best players in Florida State history. Charlie Ward was good late. That was a lot of fun to talk with Charlie. I mentioned to him, and I don't think he knew I was going to do it. I don't think he knew that I knew it, that they're likely to retire his number at the Florida State FAMU basketball game. And what an amazing honor, and one that is surely do, and that will be a really cool moment. He's so humble, he's not going to want to talk about that, but I brought that up to him. And then also really enjoyed talking to Luke Laux. It was a lot of fun to talk with him as well. I thought that all the guys, everybody we had a chance to talk to was just they were phenomenal and conversational and straightforward. So if you missed any of those, they're available via the podcast.
They are, and they're going to be available via video this week. This is one of the situations where, because the interviews occurred Friday evening, they're going to get lost in the wash if we run them on Saturday because everybody's watching college football.
That's right.
And so you're going to see them on the channel rolled out this week. It might take away some of the Miami back and forth relative to this year's game because obviously it's after that. But the conversations are excellent, and you're going to enjoy them very, very much.
Want to point out my buddies at Tried and True Consulting, of course. Fantastic at their jobs, constantly expanding here in Tallahassee, a payments and business solutions company. There's so much more than that. They are involved in this community. They'll be back in town again this week as more and more businesses are coming on board, and that includes our friends at the Battles Inn. And if you are going to contribute and reach out and learn more about how Tried and True Consulting can help you, you'll find out that they'll give back 10% of their net revenue to the Battles Inn. We need some upgrades along that offensive and defensive line moving forward, so that's a good thing. Won't you consider Tried and True, 844-464-6653, or scan the QR code and reach out to Don, Joe, Rusty. This guy's doing good work. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Leon County Sheriff's Office unveiled the findings of a drug trafficking investigation Wednesday. The arrest comes after several authorities conducted a criminal investigation last year during the summer. Authorities identified Abraham Wiggins as a suspected polydrug trafficker in Leon County. As the investigation continued, law enforcement determined that Wiggins was a DTO member responsible for selling and supplying cocaine along with other narcotics. The North Florida high-intensity drug trafficking area's cadre, who are responsible for dismantling and disrupting DTOs within Leon County and the Big Bend, took on the investigation to determine who was responsible for distributing alpha, known as Molly, and cocaine throughout the community. The investigation led to numerous arrests and search warrants being executed. Large amounts of Molly, marijuana, cocaine, 8 weapons, and U.S. currency in illegal proceeds were seized. This is an ongoing investigation with additional DTO members being identified and investigated. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 86 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies with a chance of thunderstorms. Winds out of the east 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Chance of thunderstorms. Lows level off around 71. High temperatures reach up to 89 tomorrow. A blend of clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 83.
And here come the leaves. Thousands of them falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns. Your lawn, our game.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I have to deviate, if only for a second, a non-Florida State item that I can't help but bring up. How much does it suck to get arrested, charged with felony battery, and you're the one who got stabbed repeatedly? That's what happened to Mark Sanchez. And what has happened to Mark Sanchez? That seemed like the most banal, boring-ass, never going to get in trouble a day in his life sort of dude post-USC. Buttoned up, kind of boring play-by-play analysts. He's just or color analyst. He's just whatever. I think he does an average job whenever I hear him in the NFL. Prosecutors in Marion County added a level 5 felony battery charge against Mark Sanchez on Monday for his alleged attack on a 69-year-old truck driver in Indianapolis on Saturday. When I saw the time of the arrest, I went, ooh, Mark got away from Mark. He was waiting to do the game on Sunday and got a little bored on a Saturday. Next thing you know, we're out here fighting 69-year-old truck drivers. The additional charge, the second lowest felony level in Indiana's criminal code, carries a sentencing guideline of 1 year to 6 years in prison. Whew. Sanchez, analyst for Fox Sports, faced charges of battery resulting in injury, public intoxication, and unlawful entry of a motor vehicle. Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears said during the Monday news conference that the alleged assault involved serious bodily injury. And it's not clear at the time of the publication where that article was written by the AP that, whether Sanchez had legal representation. He's yet to speak on the matter. Police arrested him on Saturday while he was in the hospital being treated for the wounds that he suffered during the incident. He was stabbed multiple times in his right torso, while the other man had a huge laceration on his left cheek and required hospitalization. He confronted the man for parking his truck in an alley between two hotels, claiming that the man could not be there. Prosecutors said video footage shows Sanchez attempting to enter the vehicle multiple times, and the situation escalated. At one point, Sanchez slammed the driver, identified only as PT. Old PT's out here getting slammed by Mark Sanchez. The truck driver told police he then used pepper spray on Sanchez, who reeked of alcohol and had slurred speech, before eventually using his knife to defend himself. Which Sanchez fled the scene as the police arrived. So you talk about insult to injury. My man is out here slamming a 69-year-old truck driver because he's the truck driver police and you can't park there, according to Mark Sanchez, then tries to get in the damn truck to make him move it. Guy's like, what are you doing, man? Get the hell away from me. Sanchez is like, you can't park here. Anyhow, the guy's like, I can and I will. Go to hell. And Sanchez, no, you won't. And then it's on. My man grabs his pepper spray and his knife. And Sanchez starts whooping his ass, so he stabs him repeatedly, which one might. And it's Sanchez who's being arrested in the hospital and charged for the felony. That's fantastic. Oh, Mark. That's a toughie.
And then Fox nailed it yesterday with their statement about it. They went very brief, as one PR agent might tell them to do.
Yes, let's go brief here.
They wanted to offer their thoughts and prayers to Mark and those that were involved in the incident. You don't want to flip the order? I think if we were in the room advising Fox in that moment, if you're going to have Kurt Menefee and Chris Thompson and Chris Myers offered various statements at different points throughout the day, that we might want to offer up thoughts and prayers to the
dude who wasn't charged with the crime?
First.
The guy who was being assaulted?
Mark and the people. We're going to go with Mark and the people here. What is this, a band?
Mark and the people. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark and the people.
Right. Mark and the people involved.
Oh, man. That's a toughie. Hey, what makes it, what's funny is that he's in a situation where he walks out of a bar, and presumably a hotel bar, and sees how blotto drunk was Mark Sanchez that he decided to be furious over the location of a truck between two buildings. How does that ever happen?
Something about the entitlement in this world pissed him off.
He's like, you just want to park anywhere, do you? Imagine that guy, that 69-year-old man's like, what? What is your problem? You can't park there. Well, I can. And who are you? What is this?
Looks like a bad TV commercial. Is that Mark Sanchez? Mark Sanchez, why are you yelling at me?
What? That's nuts. Circling back to Florida State, Ira mentioned that, Tommy blamed himself for this game and apologized to his teammates, and he was caught on camera there at the end of the game emotionally, having a breakdown a little bit there. You got to put your arm around Tommy in this situation, honestly, moving forward here and say, look, man, we've got some guys now. If you just run the offense, we'll be all right. I know you're a fighter. I know you're going to hang in there. I know that even in the midst of adversity and struggle, you're going to continue to compete, and nobody is blaming you solely for this loss. You didn't have your best day at the office. Nobody's going to argue with that either, but nobody thinks that we solely lost because of Tommy. And he didn't play well. He left some stuff out there.
He's reason number one.
He is,
what we could control.
Yeah, I think he is. I also think their line of scrimmage is also 1A. I'd start with their ability to, get 40-plus pressures on the quarterback. You're not going to play well when you're under that kind of duress. A lot of guys, better quarterbacks than Tommy Castellanos, would not have played well with 40-plus pressures provided by the defensive line.
Agreed. I think there are going to be a ton no matter what. But I do think in the same way that you look at the amount of offense that we racked up in the fourth quarter, you're also looking at pressures that are racking up because you're pitting your ears back and you don't have to play it honest at that point.
Yeah,
they're still going to be over 24. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they're going
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I think the 40 number comes to, well, what the hell? Go have fun, guys. We're up 28-3.
I agree with you, but so take off 15.
Sure.
I mean, it's absurd. They dominated our offensive line.
And that was going to happen. Yes. No matter what, that was going to happen.
Because you need to do a better job of recruiting offensive line. And you can't wholesale have to replace it year in and year out. Now, think about how much money you're wasting doing that time and again. And look, Miami has more money, and where you see it is at quarterback. That was specifically the right place to point to by Ira, is to look at last year with Ward and then look at this year with Carson Beck. But a lot of the problems in this game that weren't quarterback related are the result of their offensive line, their defensive line. And those guys you didn't lose out on because of money. Most of those were lost because you're not the better recruiter. Most of those were lost because you don't put as great an impetus on recruiting as he does. That is his greatest strength by far. It's certainly not game management. Mario Cristobal's best attribute is that it's like a religious fervor that he attacks recruiting with. It's his bread and butter. It's what he loves to do, and it shows. Now, it helps that they have financial backing, but he recruits everywhere he goes, and he's going to continue to recruit because he puts a priority on it, and he surrounds himself with guys who are good at it. And this is something that we've talked about and stressed with Mike. Mike is their best recruiter. If on this staff, I would argue Mike Norvell is their best recruiter, and he's not a great recruiter. That's problematic.
Yeah, I would say the book is out on the defensive staff, but you don't have time. It's just there hasn't been time to take a look at it. On 1.0, staff 1.0, yeah, there's a little doubt that Mike leads the way. Surtain is probably in that conversation, and there we are.
Yeah, and they have not done a good job of recruiting offensive line. They have not done a good job.
I guess you could throw Chris Thompson in there for the tight end position.
Well, apparently he's prolific.
Yes, he is.
I mean, goodness gracious. We'll get us a tight end now. We're in the running for another great one. But I would rather divvy up the attributes somewhere else. The money might go somewhere else for me right now. I mean, we've got some tight ends. We're all right.
Well, you could ask, hey, Chris, what do you think about talking to some edge rushers on the trail? What do you think? Use that power of persuasion.
Yes. Chris, you're doing a great job with these tight ends. Can we get you to find a way to get some defensive ends in here?
I did. His name's Amari Williams. I got you a two-way player.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we did first guess, and everybody got their wish. You weren't out there screaming at James Williams much now, were you? Not a Not a lot of PT for that young man this past weekend. So we kind of knew that might happen.
Well, there was more 4 down as well.
Yeah, there was. Well, getting Kevin Wynn back helps.
4 dudes with their hand in the dirt. Yeah, Wynn, I thought held up pretty nicely.
Well, and I think he's going to be a player. I think you've got something there.
They also schemed a couple things where they straight up confused Miami's offensive line. You had a couple things that broke down between the center and the right guard. One was a twist, but another one was just a straight miscommunication. And he did that through, I don't know what, but he schemed something up.
You got the Blake Nicholson sack.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Well, you hit the quarterback's arm as well a couple of times, one of which I think he's actually going to throw a pick. It's just before the half because I don't know where Beck is looking, but he's definitely confused. Like, you put enough things together. You needed to MacGyver that thing on defense for given how well they were going to run the ball and what you were coming off of against Virginia. And he MacGyvered it. But what sticks out is the offense. I mean, it's just like a sore thumb.
Yeah. And, again, there's little things that get lost in a game like this. One of those is that 4th and 8 on the Miami 41, and you decide to go for it instead of trying to pin them deep. Well, you don't try to pin them deep because you don't trust that your punter can do it. You think he's going to kick it out of the back of the end zone or straight up and they're going to fair catch it at the 18. You don't believe in him. And he's giving you reason not to. So there's another little thing. It's very, very aggravating. Final hour, 4th coming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
WVFD Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Kansas City Chiefs in town to meet the Jacksonville Jaguars at Everbank Stadium on Monday Night Football. The Chiefs are the 3.5-point favorite, 45.5 the total. The Chiefs have won 8 straight over the Jags. Kansas City minus 185 on the money line to win the game outright. Brett Whitefield, VSiN contributor, likes Travis Etienne Jr. to go over 62.5 rushing yards. Pro bettor Chris Sanook likes the Jaguars at +3 or +3.5. And VSiN Zach Cohen also likes the Jaguars at +3.5. VSIN.com/pick. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at VSiN.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine. And we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
Number CCC 1335048.
Florida man, you're all crooked again. What did you do to yourself this time?
Well, we were tailgating before the big game, and I had to defend Hank's honor. Some guy's arm wearing his gold chain and said, "Nice Gator fan." Can you believe that? Hank is a Seminole, thank you very much. But it all went downhill during Flip Cup. Hank was losing bad, and the guy starts heckling. He says, "Figures a Gator fan can't flip." The next thing I know, Hank's all over the table and going for the guy's throat. I tried to break it up. I grabbed a keg to end the chaos, and bam, my back went out like a lawn chair in a hurricane. I didn't even make it to the game.
Let me guess, Hank went without you.
Yep, stormed the field after the win.
At Finn Chiropractic, they'll get to the root of your pain and deliver the solutions. Book your appointment online at finnchiro.com, and you'll even get an online discount. Visit finnchiro.com today and find your path to a pain-free tomorrow.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
93.3 FM, Real Talk. We appreciate that. Thanks for supporting local. Thanks for watching on Warchant TV. Thanks for taking us in on the YouTube channel there. Another reminder, tonight it's 7 o'clock. You get more conversation. Tom Lang, Ira Schoffel with the Smash. I think I'm pretty well caught up. I'll reiterate stuff that I began the day with. And that was that, man, that was pretty comprehensive. Yeah, you left some things out there. Tom and I have discussed that for sure. It's a little frustrating when that happens, but I thought all in all, Miami was just a much better football team. And that's really frustrating for me to take in as you know, Florida State, you look at player for player, Miami's got better players, and that was on display. I thought Miami did a good job of coming in here and not letting the noise, the environment, their emotions get the better of them. They executed the big moments of the game when they had to. They drew it up well, understanding that Florida State was going to try their damnedest to take away the run. It does show you, though, Tom, you can take away anything you want. You really can. I mean, defensive coordinators can make a concerted effort to take away anything they want. The problem is that if a team's not a one-trick pony, then they've got something else laying in wait. That happened. Miami did a good job in the screen game. Miami hit you over the top. The flea flicker was to be anticipated, and it was executed brilliantly. I feel like Earl had a tough night. Actually, Tom, secondary had a tough night.
Yes, across the board.
Secondary had a tough night. Not a good night for Jerry. Jerry got turned around and was in the spin cycle a few times. And Miami has some real speed and took advantage of their players' attributes there. So you did stop the run. You ended up having it handed to you anyhow because Miami executed very well. And again, defensively, those two ends are as good as you're going to see. There's a chance that Bain goes number 1 in the draft. So, that's where you got to win in recruiting.
That dude is inevitable. He's something else.
Yeah.
We knew that coming in, and he lived up to the billing.
Yeah, we've seen him. I mean, this is a guy that's really, really good. It was, and it's weird sometimes, even in a rivalry game where you want so much to beat your arch rival, where you want so much and you go into it with a lot of passion and energy and focus and intensity and fervor and all. Sometimes it's weird when you get beat like that. You just doff the cap and go, we got to get better. We got to get a lot better because our arch rivals are just that much further along than we are now. We get into, and everybody's got their thought on this. We get into why is that? What do we need to be doing better so that that's not the case? But if you exclude that argument for a different time or a different place, you can just say this game. Let's talk about this game. Well, this game was won by the better team. This game was won by a team with better players who did a better job of executing their plays. It did a better job of executing the game plan. I thought Miami was smart. They understood that you can't give up the big play and keep everything in front of you and go up and make tackles. I thought they tackled very well, and they bottled Tommy. And this has been my concern with this offense. This has been my concern with Tommy Castellanos coming in to run the offense in general. If you don't have a great drop back passing game, you don't have a sophisticated passing concept, if you don't have the means by which to sit back there and pick defenses apart with an aerial assault, which we don't, not in a traditional sense, then if you fall behind and they stop him from utilizing his legs, you're in trouble. And we worried that could be the case. Nobody had yet, but they did on Saturday night. And there are some others who might as well, who have the personnel to be able to do it. Miami is perfectly suited to be able to do it with those ends. I thought their secondary played very well. Also, their safety played very, very well. So they've got some guys now.
Well, that's why this weekend's test will be a good one, in that you have a team that brings a lot of pressure. So you're going to have answers quickly, and the quarterback's going to have to be able to react to that pressure very quickly. And that's twofold. It's not just the quarterback being able to throw the ball. Again, I point to his sack that Tommy took at the end of the first half. That's due to long developing routes. He's waiting. He's doing all he can, which is, and they did that a couple of times where they said, all right, we're going to have to hold up in protection for about 3 Mississippi before throwing the ball. And Florida State's offensive line in a couple of those circumstances did hold up just long enough. But this weekend against a team that pressures a lot.
Oh, Blitz happy.
You're going to have rules for that, and you're going to have a quarterback ready to get rid of the ball quickly and receivers who understand that. So if you can add that to the repertoire this weekend, you got a lot of good film to work off from Miami and failures to do that. that will help you a lot in setting the tone and setting the pace against Pitt. But we'll see. This game just became really, really, really important at noon on Saturday.
Well, that was my point, that big picture-wise, okay, you give credit to Miami for doing what they did, but then you turn your attention to this next game. This cannot turn into a death spiral. This cannot turn into, here we go, it's a wash again. We're halfway through the year, and people are checking out. Like, that cannot happen. And it ought not happen. You're better than Pitt. You're at home. The fourth quarter, which I suggested, the 188 yards and 19 points that you scored in the fourth quarter were largely empty yards and points. It does a lot aesthetically for somebody who didn't see the game. They go, oh, man, that was a pretty close game. Could have gone either way. Nope, couldn't have gone either way. No, Miami kicked Florida State's ass. They went into a shell and basically said, yeah, sure, take your time. You want to go on a 19-play drive? By all means. Go ahead. We'll just keep it all in front of us, and we'll let you eat the clock away, and we'll get out of here with our win, which is what they did. And it got a little hairy. They need to rethink, does Florida State, this no-tee nonsense, spinity-do, not even going to get close to going 10 yards onside kick. It's stupid. It looks stupid, and it doesn't work.
Miami took the bait.
Miami tried to screw it up. I'm sure they're going to be talked to about that. Like, hey, guys, if it doesn't go 10 yards, they can jump on it. It's not theirs. Just stand here at the 10 yards mark and just watch it spin. In fact, point and laugh at it because it's not going to go 10 yards. Giggle at the silliness that you're witnessing here. Oh, they've got two kickers out there, and they're going to spin it around for 7 yards. Silliness. Anyhow, but no, they tried to jump on it and kick it all around. I mean, it would have been funny had it gone south for them. But nonetheless, back to the game at hand. You got to win on Saturday against a Pitt team that has made a change at quarterback, whose quarterback played very well upon becoming the new quarterback. 33 of 45 on the year for 359 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, again, almost all of it is a better way of saying that, is the game that Mason Heinschel just played against Boston College, who's not good. But Pitt is going to get after it. They always do. Narduzzi's a very good defensive coordinator as a head coach, and they blitz a ton. They're very physical. They have 16 sacks on the season. They are in the top 5 in tackles for loss. They create the havoc. That's what he's trying to do. They want you to panic. They want you to act, to react negatively to that pressure. But it is also means you can get a lot of big plays on Pitt, a lot of big plays because of it. If you're going to bring 6 and 7 guys, you've got to make them pay.
You got to have answers for it, and you got to have quick answers for it. And there are times when Tommy the ball is snapped and he just gets rid of it and he knows what to do. It just, that didn't happen a whole lot this weekend, which was a little frustrating because I do think there were some presentations that allowed for quick decisions that just weren't made. And I think that goes back to he looked mentally off.
Well,
he was
trying to hit the big play. He had so many checkdowns, Tom, so many things that he could have done. I mean, those plays when you watch, especially the one interception, you got 2 guys that are open in the flats. I mean, come on, man. Take it. They're giving it to you. It's 6 yards.
Yeah, I mean, even on a 3rd and a give-up play, right? You got a 3rd and forever after the Rizzi. It's the
penalty,
late personal foul where he's diving on Bain's back. Or it might have been Mesidor. Yeah. At any rate, you've got a 2-way swing pass screen. And, man, I'm telling you, the one to the left to Croma, it's the first thing he looks at. If you just bothered to look and count before the snap. Things he did against Alabama.
Right.
Like things where the game was slow enough for him against Alabama where there's an automatic look and go, just like he did 2nd and goal the first drive of this game. He sees they're impressed. They check to it. They know it's going to be a fade to deuce. Could really use that call in that situation, but that's good. That shows you pre-snap that he is with it and he's ready to go. There's a few of those moments where you go, oh, Tommy, it's there. Is the world just spinning on its axis in a funny way for you? And that's the way it looked. That's the way it presented on TV. And obviously that must have been the way it was if he was emotional coming off the field. That's more than just about the result. That's about, he knows in the first half, there were some things, man. There were some things there that maybe that could have helped. Because Florida State had nearly 200 yards in the first half. I shortchanged them. I called it 130, 140. It was just under 200 yards in the first half. It was the third quarter that didn't exist from a statistical
standpoint. Got absolutely brutalized in the third quarter. real quick, some updates here. Unfortunate ones in this case. Quindarius Jones suffered an injury early in the game on Saturday night against Miami. That injury will require season-ending surgery. We love Q, and you'd rather have him than not. He wasn't playing real well this year, but I wanted to see what he could become because physically you love him. You think, okay, he could be something. They got to figure it out.
Yeah, and you never know. As guys were getting roasted on Saturday because he hurt himself early, maybe he could have been somebody that was in there and he gave you a spark that you needed.
Well, you're going to have to really rely on Jabril Rawls, obviously. Jerry Wilson, who did not have a good game. Did not have a good game against Miami. He stunk.
Best thing he did was rally to the ball, get off a block, and make a play at the line of scrimmage for a tackle in the first half. But when it came to the coverage thing, it was rough. They were going to be put in challenging situations because we came up to stop the run.
Because we had to.
Yeah.
We had to absolutely do that. And you would have liked to have seen them respond better to that. Pitt does not present the same challenges that Miami did. But their offense looks like they had a little coming out party because they benched Eli Holstein, who's turning the football over and wasn't seeing a lot of things. And so this kid comes in and has a great game right out the gates, secures the job for himself, and we'll see how he plays on the road against Florida State. It is a massively important game for Mike Norvell and for Florida State. Specifically, though, I'll go back to it. Mike Norvell is going to be in a lot of hot water in terms of chatter and discussion about his job status if he loses to Pitt. You hate to talk about that. You hate that to be the reality, but it is. The circumstances are what they are. You've lost 2 straight ACC games. You've lost 7 straight ACC games, actually, and 9 of your last 10 ACC games. And that's not going anywhere. People see that number. They're frustrated. The bulk of that is from last year. It was a dreadful season, but he's been here 6 years, and he's 20-22 in the ACC. That ain't it.
I feel like Mike is Louis Gossett right now, and we're Richard Gere. Don't you do it. That's what this week. Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
I ain't got nothing else.
Or Mike is Richard Gere, and Fate is Louis Gossett.
Yeah.
Mike is saying he wakes up on a Wednesday in a cold sweat. Don't you do it.
No, man. I mean, come on now. You're the better team at home. I think the mindset of this team is so much different than the team from a year ago. I think the buy-in is so much different than it was a year ago. I don't suspect that they're going to come out looking hungover against Pitt, but I don't know it. I don't suspect they will. There's a lot, Tom, you can't. You can't. I mean, if you need to give these kids amphetamines, then do it. We cannot be out here half-stepping against Pitt early in this game. That's how upsets happen. That's where the here we go again mentality creeps in.
All those kids in my school back in the day having the yellow jackets. That's what that would be.
I don't know what a yellow jacket is.
It was prevalent at Clearwater Central Catholic circa 2001.
Is it? Speed?
I think that's what it was.
Where did you get it?
I never took it, but I don't know. It was in every classroom.
Rich kids out here getting their drugs.
They started drug testing CCC in the early 2000s for this reason.
I mean, listen, I'm glad I went to school at a time where the pills were never a thing. I hate pain medication. I'm just letting you know as an aside.
A lot of mommy and daddy's medicine cabinet energy where I was.
Okay, yeah. No, man, when I broke my arm in like 5 places, I was on oxycodone for 1 day, and then I was like, I hate this because I couldn't remember anything, and I also didn't know. Apparently, I was mean. I don't remember any of it. I never took it again.
Yeah, brief story. I shadowed at Eastlake because everything was getting out of control at CCC, and the homeroom teacher said, hey, Richard's got a shadow today. His name's Tom. He goes to CCC. He's coming here because they're doing drug testing. He said it just like that. I'm like, no. And the kids were like, hey, you got it? I'm like, no. I have none. No. That's just what's in the papers.
Not my thing. Anyhow, I kid, but they got to be alert, ready to go. Let's hit the ground running. Take out your frustrations on Pitt. This has to be a win, or else the whole thing spirals out of control. This game now becomes of vital importance, and it's because you lost to Virginia, not because you lost to Miami, although that's added to the pressure and the frustration. It's because you effed around and lost that Virginia game. So now you've lost 2 straight. And again, we all know what last year was, like Ira and I talked about in the last hour, it still counts. It still counts towards the losing streak in this conference. And there's no way if FSU is operating anywhere near peak efficiency, you never lose 7 straight games in this conference. Ever. And you certainly don't lose 9 of 10, and you don't. It's a exacerbating, frustrating feeling because on the one hand, you can't relitigate losses from 2 and 3 and 4 years ago, but it makes up the complete picture.
It does. This is where he's right to say, because he's not a diehard fan, it doesn't enter the equation for him as much as it would, say, you or I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because to us,
it does enter the equation.
It's the friend who doesn't come to get you at the airport when they said they're going to get you at the airport. And you have a come to Jesus and they say, I'm so sorry, I'll never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're waiting at the airport and they're not there to pick you up from the airport. You think it's a first offense?
Yeah,
the
right.
third time he does it, or are you worried about the other two? The other two come up when you say, again with the airport.
Well, I mean, again with the ACC losses. If you lose to Miami and that's your only loss, if you lose to Alabama at the beginning of the year, which they didn't, if you lose some games against big-time teams who have elite talent and it's a loss here or there, you go, okay, I will say this. It is decidedly different for James Franklin to lose to Oregon than it was for him to lose to UCLA. Winless ass UCLA, who's already fired their coach, who are god-awful. You're 20-plus point favorites, and you get, at one point in this game, you're getting housed. That fan base feels very different, but the problem is, when you have all those other losses that people are frustrated by, and then you throw in some garbage-ass losses, now we're like, well, good God, man. I would live with you losing to Miami, but you lost to Virginia. You can't lose to Pitt because you lost to everybody last year. And you can say, well, it's a new team. Well, new team that keeps losing ACC games.
0-3. Yeah.
New team that keeps losing ACC games. No, man. I don't want to have to start over. I've said this time and again. There are plenty of you who do. You're ready. I don't think financially Florida State wants to start over either. But I'm of the mindset that if they lose to Pitt, that you will see the vast majority of people be in favor of moving on from Mike. Not that they will. I'm not sure they will, but that's what people will be in favor of.
Yeah, if it goes down that path, you say, well, the bank vault was already on fire. So, what to do. But if you take care of business and everybody settles the hell down.
Starts, put together a couple wins here, look good doing it.
Go out to Cali, find a way.
Find a way. You should beat their ass. Find a way. Stanford's terrible.
2 20-play drives. And you're like, all right, it's 10-3 at the break. Florida State's leading. They've had 2 possessions this half. Can you believe it, guys?
No.
But just get that done. 5-2 out of the break. Take care of business. First game back, 6-2 on the road to Clemson. At that point, things have been quelled. This has not turned into when you start to burn food and you don't want the smoke alarms in the house to go off? That's what this is. It's that moment where you're trying to grab the dish towel and turn off the device before you wake up mom and dad with the smoke detector. That's what this moment is right here. So put the smoke out before the detector goes off on Saturday.
Yeah, win that game. Go beat Stanford, who's lost to Hawaii already this year, who scored a total of 3 points to BYU, who gave up 48 points to Virginia, and who just beat San Jose State, who has 1 win on the year, 30-29 on Saturday. You go dominate that game. After you take care of business this Saturday against Pitt. Easy breezy, rocking chair, and yet I get the sense that nobody out there feels like this is going to be an easy game. It feels a little ominous, and maybe I'm in panic mode. Maybe maybe right here, right now, I've got the fan cap on, and I am stressing. But I am stressing. I think it's as simple as this. I think he is dead and buried if he loses the game. Like one game, and I'm telling you, this is this game. If he loses, because here's what's going to happen. you're gonna fail in recruiting again if you lose this game. Now you'll be 0-3 in the ACC. I mean, what does it say you do here? Yeah, at this point, you'll start to see it all unravel. And how are you going to put together the kind of talent you need, both in the portal and in recruiting, if you're having this kind of a season again on the heels of a 2-10 campaign? I got it. All of the good graces that you gathered from having beat Alabama will be out the door if you lose 3 straight ACC games.
Not my own take, but let me advocate for Satan here. What if you won out after that and you're 9-3 and you have wins over Clemson, Florida, and Alabama?
But they're not going to. I mean, you know as well as I do, if you lose this game, you're not winning out. You're not. It would tell you that you're not good and that the Alabama game was a fluke.
Just asking.
Sure. Yes, we could do hypotheticals.
It's a 3-game losing streak, and you go 10-3 like you did in 22.
Okay, I would be stunned.
Okay.
If they're playing it so poorly that you lose to both Virginia and Pitt in a stretch, leave Miami out of it. They're really good. They may be the best.
Pitt is a different class than Virginia in terms of a lowly loss.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be different.
You lose that game, you got real problems. Listen, you lose that game, I would be here to tell you that you're going to get throttled by Florida at the end of the year. And that, I'm not real sure you're going to go in and beat Clemson no matter how bad Clemson is. At that point, you're 7-5. And we said before the season that 7-5 with, 2-10 being the previous ledger.
Well, yeah, 7-5, especially you start the season with a win over Alabama. That's academic. That's super easy. That's a scenario that in a way I don't worry about because it'll take care of itself if that were to happen. But you're sitting at 2 right now. You're sitting at 2.
Yeah, go win the game.
Yeah.
I'll be eager to see. How locked in they are, how focused they are, how well they play. Again, especially against a team that's going to ratchet up pressure. Listen, I'm not telling you on a Monday that I think they're going to lose. It's just a scary game. It's just a scary game where you're checking on where they're at mentally. How are they? Physically, they're a little beat up right now. So how are you? You lost your right tackle. You lost Q.
Squirrel took a shot to the head. Sounds like he's in protocol.
Uh-huh.
Not that they throw to him anyway.
Well, they miss him by 10 yards when they do. I mean, and by they, I mean Tommy. Misses him when he's wide open. A lot. For whatever reason, he's just like, Squirrel's got to be like, I am cursed. I am running wide ass open.
Well, it's you start from a low place and you got to, it's like the layer 2. With Deuce, at least you're just aiming up.
Yeah, with Deuce, you just put it in the area code, and he'll make the play for you.
He's had a good season.
He's been really, really good so far, and I hope he continues to be. They're going to need it. My man Shannon Young can be good for you if you're looking for that loan and that dream home. You go to loansforknowles.com to learn more. He's now serving in 7 states: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. It's better rates, better options, stronger support, faster response. I vouch for my man Shannon because he's really good at his job. He's a really good guy, honest, hardworking, goal-oriented, relentless attitude. He'll get the job done for you. Loansforknowles.com, loansforknowles.com. Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Pentel Jewelry, Pentel Jewelry, Pentel Jewelry, home of the real nice price. Hey man, have you heard the sound? Pentel Jewelry's the best in town. For rings, diamonds, earrings, bracelets, and more. Pentel Jewelry Store.
When was the last time you randomly did something nice for someone that means a lot to you? Now, I say this every day at the end of my show for everybody to be a better person today than you were yesterday. Well, one way to do that is to drop into Pentalta and get a gift for someone who deserves it. It'll brighten their day, their week, maybe even their year. You don't have to wait for a holiday or special occasion, so don't wait to go check out a true local gem, serving Tallahassee since 1988. Now sing along with me, and I'll see you at Pentalta.
Pentalta Jewelry, Pentalta Jewelry, Pentalta Jewelry, home of the real nice guys.
Cannonball!
Swing pools and spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Make this summer a Swain summer. Choose Swain Pools and Spas for all your regular monthly or weekly scheduled pool maintenance, repairs, restoration, and renovation. Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee's pool everything store. Whether it's a deep clean, a resurfacing, or a full refresh, Swain's team will have you swimming, not skimming, in no time. Make a splash this summer and have a Swain summer. Find out all the ways Swain Pools and Spas can upgrade and maintain your backyard. Online at swainpools.com. That's swainpools.com.
The next 3 free flow as your spas will be available half price. First come, first served.
Swain Pools and Spas.
And right next to Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee Car Care, the only repair shop where you can take a dip while we repair your whip. Tallahassee Car Care, right next to Swain Pools and Spas.
Cannonball!
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Big game tonight in Jacksonville. All right, butts. Let's get it together. What a moment. You could have Kansas City leave Jacksonville at 2-3. The Jaguars could be 4-1, having really kind of blown the game against Cincinnati. They could be undefeated, but it doesn't matter. Get this win against Kansas City tonight, and we're on to something. What a uniform game yesterday for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Seattle Seahawks. Did that not bring a tear to your eye to see those two uniforms on the field at the exact same time? Holy moly.
It was like the football gods, too, wanted to see it with their own eyes, because in Seattle, oft cloudy, they said
the weather was perfect.
It's going to be a sunny day in Seattle.
And how about those sweatshirts on the Bucs sidelines?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
You could break one of those out this weekend, buddy. You see what the overnight, Saturday into Sunday could be?
No, I didn't. What are you? But don't get my hopes up like that.
In the upper 50s.
Ooh. Well, I have a nice little, just a little pullover. I don't think I need a sweatshirt in the 50s. Sweatshirt, 40s, 30s.
Oh, and it'll get too warm by 10 a.m.
Yeah,
but
slight pullover. I got a nice little Bucko Bruce polo.
There you go. Yeah. For the early morning walking of the dog.
Yeah, that's I'll do it.
That's what you got. Also, it should be in the low to mid 60s on Saturday morning. So I'm going to stroll over to Indigo for our 10 o'clock meet and greet. I'm going to use the old Gaines Street, walk down the hill.
10 a.m. meet and greet this Saturday, Hotel Indigo. Thanks to everybody who came out to Hotel Indigo over the weekend. It was packed. It was awesome. I met so many wonderful souls and had a great opportunity to catch up with folks that have been listening to the show for a long, long time. And that was fantastic. It's time to go above and beyond. If you would, cue it up, sir. Let's get to
Above and beyond. Above and beyond. Above and beyond.
Above
and beyond.
727-253-5995, or just check out the website. That's what you really need to do, aboveandbeyondvr.com, aboveandbeyondvr.com. Show them why, Tom. Look at this pimped out, sweet locale that you could stay at. Tom and I did this very one, if you're watching right now on the YouTube channel, right on the water, a luxurious condo.
That's a shot right there.
That is something right there. That was, those were good times, Tom. Good times. Fine folks at Above and Beyond VR, aboveandbeyondvr.com. Magnificent locations throughout that Clearwater area. Dunedin, man, it's something. 30 properties. This is one of them. I could live there. It'd be cool if they let me just live there. I'd like that.
I was scrolling through the photos. That couch is super comfortable, too.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I was scrolling through the photos during the break. I was thinking, man, okay. Like that photo right there, if you're driving in the car, it's sunset, which the best sunsets in the world on the west coast of Florida. And we saw a great one when we were down there in February.
It was almost like it was fake.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
And you just catch that breeze. You enjoy the night air. You got maybe a Tampa Bay Lightning hockey game on the TV, enjoying that. We did. Unfortunately, we lost that game that night when we were watching.
That's right, yeah.
And then you stroll on over to one of the hotel bars.
Which we did as well.
Which we did.
There was a tiki bar that we went to.
We went to the tiki bar and the high-rise one, too, which I liked.
I did.
I think the bartender was a fan as well.
I think so. You should have stuck around and talked.
You told me, no, let's go to the next place.
Well, I mean, we were trying to get to other places. You were only there for one night.
That's true. Well, you could have said experiences, though, because for the bye week right now, for the upcoming bye week on the 25th of October, 3 nights under $1,900 for 3 bedrooms. So you split it up with a few couples. It's like nothing. And it's got a boat slip. It's got a pool, jacuzzi attached to it in terms of the property area. It's awesome.
727-253-5995 and aboveandbeyondvr.com. Just use the promo code JCS. You're saving all kinds of money. There's no middleman fees, none of that VRBO or middleman stuff that you have to deal with where they jack up the rates and all that. You're saving a ton of money in your lap of luxury. Make it happen. Like, how many bedrooms was this place?
Yeah, 3. It was 3 stories. So you sleep a lot more than just folks for 3 bedrooms, but yeah.
Hey, good times. Okay, so let's pick our Above and Beyond Player of the Week. I don't know where you want to go, but I'll have fun with it. I'll go with Levante David for picking off Sam Darnold with less than a minute to go, which set up Chase McLaughlin's field goal to win it for the Bucs. 38-35 walk-off victory in Seattle. Perfect day for football. Darnold was great all day, 341 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm like, man, this guy, but the Vikings regret getting rid of this guy. He's tearing us apart, but that was a big play. Levante David's been in the league for 105 years, makes that interception. Boom, Bucs get the win. Baker Mayfield was incredible. Emeka Egbuka was incredible. You could go a lot of places, but I'm going to go with the salty future Hall of Famer veteran Levante David.
Yeah, I'm going to travel a little bit of a distance for this one, and it's going to be to the other side of the football in that game. And I'm going to go to Baker Mayfield. The Baker is starting to do some special things. It was fun and kind of cute and kitschy. And it was an attitude that the Bucs had the last couple of seasons. Baker found a way. He was punchy. He's just great this season. Like, straight up, it's not about, oh, that's kind of cute. He's an underdog. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's legitimately playing out of his mind right now.
Sir, to your point, for the people who don't know, he was 29 of 33 for 379 yards and 2 touchdowns, and obviously a huge pass to Sterling Shepard with a $1.08 to play to tie the score at 35 for us to even have a chance to win the game.
In the last 12 quarters of football, all right, he was a little bit flat for the first half against Philly. The other 10, he's been essentially perfect. And in that game yesterday, knowing after halftime, you give up that score just before the break, and Seattle comes out, they score to take the lead. You know you have to play perfect the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And there's so much game pressure on us because Seattle is the healthier team with the better defense. And he delivered time and time and time again. And it just so happened that our team didn't just play in the uniform game of the day, they played in the game of the day. That was an enthralling second half, and the Bucs continued to execute. He's so much fun to watch, man, especially as banged up as they are. He's finding a way.
Well, they're 4-1, and we basically stated that if they could get through the early portion of the season with all the injuries that they had, and then they added to those injuries, then, my goodness, who knows by the time they get everybody back what this might look like. And they keep stockpiling wins so they give themselves a grace because some losses are coming. It's going to happen, but you're 4-1.
That schedule in the middle is actually quite brutal. So racking up these wins puts you in a situation, especially if you win in division games.
Yeah.
That 10, 11, 12 wins are all on the docket with a tiebreaker in the South. You needed this one yesterday. I mean, you got New England doesn't look that bad, do they?
Well,
so you got you got San Francisco and New England and the Rams and Buffalo all in the next 6 games.
How hilarious is it that Drake May, he looks like a real player right now, and North Carolina's social media accounts aren't allowed to congratulate him because Belichick's crazy and said that they can't retweet anything to do with New England or the New England Patriots. And because of it, everybody's looking at the Carolina site yesterday because what a win for Drake May. I mean, what a night for Drake May. Nary a word, nary a nothing for North Carolina. Also, that just looks like the biggest joke. I mean, this is, you're watching this. How much longer does that continue? He's robbed them blind.
He really has.
He has robbed them blind.
He set himself up nicely.
Tough times, Carolina. Anyhow, go save you some money. AboveandBeyondVR.com. AboveandBeyondVR.com. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A former Tallahassee teacher is now in state prison for misconduct with a student. Safina Webb taught English at a Leon County high school. She pleaded no contest to exchanging nearly 9,000 sexual text messages with a 15-year-old girl in 2021. This month, a judge sentenced her to 8 years in prison plus 7 years of sex offender probation. Court records show Webb is appealing her sentence. Judge Lance Neff has granted the defense's motion to delay the trial of accused FSU shooter Phoenix Eichner. The judge is now giving Eichner's defense team until next October to gather their case. The judge has now set the trial to start on October 19th, 2026, with hopes of it wrapping up on November 6th. Last week, Eichner's defense team requested that the trial be pushed back, citing their caseload amongst other things. This is Rachel Lene with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Tallahassee weather report.
From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold. A pleasant lunch hour for us today, much like yesterday. But also like yesterday, the wind will be very strong and steady at this time. Temperatures will be in the low 80s, becoming the mid 80s by the time we head home from work. Skies stay fair the entire day. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold.
Did you know that the survivability of a metal roof far exceeds that of a traditional shingle roof? At Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee, we have a brand new state-of-the-art roll former that produces the highest quality VersaPanel, PVR, and standing seam options. And we will guarantee to match or beat any local competitor's pricing. We're a family-owned business ready to offer you the very best sales and installation service in the area. And don't forget about our veterans and first responders discounts. Call Metal Roofing Sales today at 850-536-9123 or online at metalroofingsales.net.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Football season is here, Tallahassee. Are you ready for backyard watch parties, burgers on the grill, and game day glory? Wait, now with those leaves piled up like a linebacker blocking the end zone. Call the lawn John. We'll tackle those falling leaves, clean up your yard, and lay down fresh pine straw or mulch so your lawn looks like a championship field. Don't fumble your fall cleanup. Call the Lawn Johns today, and let's score you the best-looking yard on the block. The Lawn Johns. Your lawn, our game.
The competition is scared. Why? Because J.D. Power named Nissan, not Toyota, #1 in new vehicle quality among all mainstream brands. And all 2025 Nissan midsize SUVs have 0% interest for 60 months and up to $5,000 cash back. Kraft Nissan in Tallahassee.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Let's get to that contribution that I see you hit the woo for. Hey, Noel Kev, how you doing, buddy? Man, too bad FSU don't have a lucky rabbit's foot up there. You know what? Like the Bucks. I mean, that pass deflecting right into Levante David's hands. Come on, man. And as much as I hate to admit, I like the Canes DC. Intense guy. Oh, I like their staff. I think they have a good staff. I don't love the head coach, but he recruits his ass off, and I do like their staff. Their offensive line coach is great. Yeah. It's frustrating.
It was an earned bounce. That illegal contact call on the previous interception was a little touchy. And then Diaby's got an interception in the end zone, standing with his feet at pay dirt.
Yeah.
And it goes into the hands of the Seattle receiver to start a 99-yard drive.
That's right.
That was an earned bounce. Thank you very much.
Overcame it all. No reason to worry about it. You know, I got to tell you, I can't imagine not cutting him on the spot, meaning Amari DiMarcado, the Arizona running back who dropped the ball after running 72 yards to the end zone for an easy touchdown, but trying to be cool, spins it before he crosses the line. Because at the time that he did it, it would have put Arizona up 27-3. The play resulted in a touchback for Tennessee. It sparked what turned out to be a 19 unanswered point barrage in the fourth quarter for the Tennessee Titans to win their first game of the year. It was 21-6. He's walking into the end zone to make it 27-6. It's in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes to play. Game, set, match, not close. And dumbass decides, I'm cool and it's important that I be cool. And you need to know how cool I am. I'm too good for the game. I just can't be contained. I need to tell you how great my timing really is. But if you look around the NFL, it's rather remarkable that this is a thing now that has happened, I think 6 times I've read. He's the latest to commit what is easily avoidable. Last week, Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Adonai Mitchell lost control of the ball before crossing the goal line because he was busy celebrating and lost possession.
What? In that organization where Jonathan Taylor last year did this thing?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, man. I didn't realize that.
That was a 75. It cost him the game. It cost him the game against the Rams. You mentioned Jonathan Taylor, Deshaun Jackson.
That's the famous Monday night one.
That's the famous Monday night one. Yeah.
You would think that would be the only time it happens in history. After one time. And especially on Monday Night Football, it wasn't lost in the 1 o'clock window. It wasn't Cincinnati at Arizona, buddy, with nobody watching.
That was unbelievable. When I saw it, I thought I would cut him. I'd cut him on the spot. And he's a bum. He's like their 4th-string running back. They've lost everybody. It's not like you're losing Saquon Barkley. I'd be like, listen, man, you're DiMarcado or whatever the hell you are. You get the hell up out of here, you garbage ass.
This has been a line of demarcation.
So you can take it. Bring your playbook, son. We're done here. Yeah, he apologized. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You just lost us the game. That's ridiculous. And for what? And for what? Mark, enjoyed talking with you, Jeff, at Indigo. Been a longtime fan and listener. I'm way behind on the broadcast today, but wanted to give you guys a shout-out. You make the long work day much easier to get through. Thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure to speak with you too, sir. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a smart move, TPE. The split second someone fumbles the ball because they want to look cool as they cross the goal line, I live bet the opposing team on the money line. It's devastating. It really is devastating. Think about it. Think about how absurd it is. And God forbid the opposing team who's about to have that score go against them, go down and score themselves after they get the ball back. Now you should really just chips to the table, chips to the middle. It's a running kick to the cojones.
To Mario's point, when Diaby did not come away with the interception in the end zone, it would have been a pick 6 from 2 feet away.
Yeah.
It's a rare bird. I think I should have hammered the live on the touchdown on that drive if I could have drive outcome, because you'd probably still get like plus 180. Even though they were going up and down the field, they got 90 yards to go. Would have been the moment.
Tony writes, if TC goes out and throws a couple of early interceptions, do they sit him for a series or two and go to Sperry? Not calling for it, just a thought experiment. Well, it's hard not to think about it, isn't it? You can't be out here turning the ball over. What's he got? 5 interceptions now?
Depends on the nature of the interception. Do they look like the second one of the game? Or are they good plays by the defensive backs? Not all interceptions are the same. So if he throws 2 early interceptions that look like almost like give-up plays.
Well, is he rat trapping because of the pressure? Is he flipping out? Is he putting too much pressure on himself? Does he need to sit back, relax, breathe, take a look at it? Because I guarantee you, Sperry will just run the offense. And they will tell him, hey, man.
And that could be win or lose because that means that you're not doing anything special. And so you take a sack and you go, what the hell, dog?
Yeah.
Break the pocket.
So but he can really run, so he wouldn't be afraid to run. And, I think he's going to be a better passer than Tommy.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Now, he might not have the best passes because if you're just comparing the two, because Tommy can still. Some of the throws he makes are ridiculous in a good way.
Occasionally.
But many of the throws he makes are also ridiculous the bad way, where you go, really? You're going to spike that? There was one bit of bad body language that I saw on Saturday, and that was, again, they had a throwback to Lucas, and he dirted the ball. I thought Jalen could have efforted for it a little bit better. But
not a great throw.
And Jalen was...
well, he's about tired of it.
Yeah.
I saw for the first time, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I had to have a conversation with him very briefly. My son gave a little of that. There was a couple of balls that were poorly thrown in his game, and he.
Oh, hell no! You can't have that.
He was pissed. He didn't show him up on the field, but I could see I'm like, hey man, come on now. Everybody's out here trying.
Even on the sideline.
Yeah,
you can't
just. Well, he wasn't. I don't want to give the wrong impression. I noticed. I'm like, oh no, he's always
another diva Cameron.
Here we go. He's always been great about it. He's never. Yeah. They got housed again over the weekend, but he had 7 catches and a touchdown. He was very good. So I'm proud of him.
Y'all putting that huddle together?
We need to. I know we need to, man. We've been talking about it. I talked about it last night with him. He's having a good year. He's a good player.
Is that 3 or 4 now? 4?
I think it may be 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah. Had a lot of first down catches in this game. And then he had the 40-yarder or thereabouts. So yeah. That was just a nice little slant, and then he ran away from everybody. He's fast. But yeah, that's we'll put that together. But yeah, body language. You're right, Lucas. Back to Lucas. I can understand his frustration. I mean, they've botched some what would be big plays, or potentially big plays.
Well, I'm telling you, the second and forever play. This is just a strange series, and I thought it embodied the first half. Was you're doing good things. You know what I'm saying? As Jimbo once did. And then you're in 1st and 25. And your 1st and 25 play actually is fairly blocked. It's fairly well blocked to the play side, but they've got a stud who tracks it down in Ruben Bain and makes a play on Sawtruck. So it's only a gain of 2.
I like watching Bain play. I hate to admit it. It pisses me off. Mesidor too. I like watching them both play.
I'm sure folks who watch us and listen to us got tired of that last week. Just talking, he is different. And then the next play is schemed up to Lucas, and you got blockers downfield, and you got numbers. And I don't think it's going to score, but it's going to get you at a 2nd and 23.
Yes, it
and
is.
It's going to put you in 3rd manageable.
Yes, it is.
And you'll be able to kick if you want to for 3 if you short circuit it. Bain makes a play, and then the 3rd down. It's open to the left, doesn't chuck it, and there you go. Miami puts a couple good plays together, and your quarterback doesn't see it.
Let's get to, sir, some MLB probables for today. We've got a game at 6 o'clock, dinner time. 9 o'clock tonight, late. You got another game. All right. This has been fun for Major League Baseball. Real quick update. If you didn't know, yesterday, the Blue Jays pasted the Yankees yet again, 13 runs after scoring 10 runs in the game before. That offense is for real. Max Fried got lit up, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0 over the Yankees. Tragic. Seattle bounced back. That's been a whale of a series so far. 1 game apiece. They win 3-2 yesterday. Good pitching matchup. That's a fun series to watch. All right, cue it up. Let's get to.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
Game 2 between the Dodgers and the Phillies. The first one was a good one, 5-3 Dodgers. We've got Blake Snell going tonight for Los Angeles. Philadelphia will counter with Jesus Luzardo. 6:08 start time. Phillies need it. Cubs, Brewers. Brewers handily win game 1. Shota Amanaga, who, by the way, in MLB this show is unhittable. Amanaga shoves every time I face him. I get so pissed. I'm concentrating, Tom. It's like I'm having the at-bat every time. Like, come on. Throw me that soft stuff, Amanaga. I know. I'm sitting waiting on that changeup. And then he'll throw a heater high and tight on the corner. I'm like, good pitch, you son of a bitch. All right. Sitting back on that changeup, though. I'm not falling for the juice. I'm not falling. Oh, dropped a curveball on me, did you? I'm way out in front. He's good on that game. I can't hit him. Aaron Ashby goes for the Brewers. I can hit. I can hit Ashby's left-handed ass. I'll paste him. Bring that nonsense to me, Ashby. Doubling the gap. And that is a look at those that shall reside in the ball.
The last minute before the show, sources indicate to Warchant that BJ Gibson is leaving football to focus on baseball.
Correct move, young man. Correct move. Focus that energy and that talent on baseball. That's your path. That is not the path to the NFL. You weren't going. You're going to Major League Baseball. That's where you want to go. Smart move. Smart move. In fact, I thought about it over the weekend, oddly.
He could fair catch the ball, just not at the 4. He could run under it. He could get the job done there.
I just hope he has a great year in baseball and gets himself paid. He's a good player. Good work out of you, sir. Thanks to everybody out there for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the baseball this evening and the Monday Night Football. A nice little sports night in the Cameron household. I think I'm going to make some registered sausage out on the grill tonight. Do it up right. Until tomorrow, I say peace, but don't forget to smash at 7 p.m. tonight as well. Peace.